This is 35KY Sports. I'm Rayvon Churchill.
The real matter BBN.
Your boy Murph.
What up? What up? This is Al.
What's going on, folks? Welcome back. So we got a lot to talk about this morning. It's gonna be real cool. I think we should start with the fight last night. Who watched the fight last night? It was free. You didn't have to pay for it. Who watched the fight last night? And what did you think about Wilder, Deontay Wilder? Is he one of the best heavyweights that you've seen? He's shown that his knockout power. He's knocked out every man that he's ever faced. His knockout power is tremendous. What do you think about Deontay Wilder and the fight last night?
41-0 now?
41-0.
41-0-1 is one.
41-0-1, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had the tie with Tyson Fury.
So, I think he brings a lot of excitement back to the heavyweight division. We all kind of, they kind of, how boxing goes. They set up bums for these guys and, beat them up, knock them down. You see a bum, he slaps a bum. So, I do enjoy it. We haven't seen anybody in the heavyweight division with knockout power since like that exciting first round since, Iron Mike. You know what I'm saying? Kid Dynamite. So I love what Wilder's bringing to boxing and kind of putting the spotlight back on it.
Do you think he is well, I think what all boxing fans and sports fans in general want is the Joshua and the Wilder fight. Do you think they make that fight anytime during 2019? Do you think they make the Wilder-Joshua fight anytime during 2019?
Being that we already in May and he just fought, I kind of have a hard time seeing them fighting this year now. I know they've been in talks before. I know I thought they almost had it agreed upon at once. The big talk was, where the fight was going to take place. He wants it over in Europe, Joshua. And of course, Wilder wants it here in the States, preferably New York or Vegas. But, they got to squash it. They got to come to a agreement. I feel like boxing can't take another, guys just holding out on each other out of their prime, another Pacquiao, Mayweather, how they just kind of held it off on us. And then it was just like, come on, guys, Y'all was over the hill when y'all finally agreed on it.
Real quick on the live broadcast. If you can hear us good, somebody give me the thumbs up. If you can hear us, just give me the thumbs up if you can hear us. All right. So once again, we're in the studios. Rayvon Churchill joining forces with 35KY Sports. We're talking about the fight last night. One round. If you went to the bathroom or if you went and made you a plate, you missed it. I'm not sure if I've watched Joshua fight. I do believe that because he has more belts than Deontay Wilder, and the fact that he can bring 100,000 people to Wembley Stadium in London. I think you have to make that fight in London. And then if Wilder wins, then you bring it over here. Maybe you do it in Jerry World. But I think the first initial fight, I think you have to go to London with that fight.
I feel Wilder though on the not trying to go over there.
Thumbs up. Can you hear it? Thumbs up.
Over there and fight. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This is going to be probably the biggest fight of his career, and to go over there and fight it in front of 100,000 people going against you, and everything that comes with that, the energy. Yeah, I know he's going to do what he do, but I just feel it, Mike. I want the fight to be in Vegas, MGM. And what legends are made of in Vegas. Derby. You know what I'm saying? Like let's do it in Vegas, whatever.
Next Derby.
January 2020 or May 2020, and let's do it big because we haven't had a big fight in Vegas in a long time.
Yeah, the last big fight. Well, I don't know. Canelo Triple G was a pretty big fight.
But
and that was in Vegas.
We actually gonna have big guys too.
Well, I don't. Hold on. We're debating.
Somebody's gonna go to bed.
We're debating. Let's talk about it because Canelo is the most popular fighter in the world. He's the most popular fighter in the world.
But how much interest?
And Triple G was an undefeated fighter. So that was a big time fight that they had in Vegas.
That was a big
If
fight,
you was
but
That was a
still
big time fight.
into boxing, but the interest in boxing is down some compared
Yeah.
to when
It
we
was
was kids.
people
And this would be a fight
casually
that would
watching
have
that fight
us
last night.
back interested. We tired of seeing 10 and 12 round decision
Was,
fights. I don't want to see none of that.
Was Joshua the brother that was in the ring after the fight? After the Wilder fight last night that they were talking to?
I didn't see.
who-
I didn't see the end. I didn't see the post fight. I didn't see the post fight interview. He may have been because I know he's been.
Yeah, they
hanging out in
interviewed
the
somebody.
United States.
I forgot exactly who it was, but
He said he wanted to kill a man in the ring.
He said he
Yeah.
wanted to kill a man in the ring. He knocked somebody's block off
said,
last
it's
night.
the only sport you're not supposed to get hit in the head. Not
Yeah.
supposed to get hit in the head.
So I do believe that. I do believe he has tremendous knockout power, and I'm not sure if Anthony Joshua has faced anyone like Deontay Wilder, and vice versa. Although Tyson Fury, I think you have to put him in the ring. You have to put him in the ring. Hit the share button for me one time on the live broadcast. Please hit the share button for me one time, real quick. I think you have to put his name into the hat. He's a big opponent. Unless he beats himself, it's going to be hard to beat him. I think you have to put Tyson Fury, his name, back into the hat. What's up, Jewel? What's up, Spank?
Hey, do you want anybody to give a call in number?
Yeah,
live.
what's the call in number?
It is 502-594-8570.
594-8970 if you want to call in.
594-8570.
594-8970.
85.
594-8570. 594-8570. We got somebody saying, what's up? They said, what's up, Alan? Man, hold on real quick.
You want to bring it on it? If you bring it.
We're back. Hit the share button for me. We're talking sports here this morning here with the boys with 35 KY Sports. So, is that enough for boxing? Are we good with the boxing? Do we need to move on?
We need that fight.
We need to fight. And we need to fight fast. Well, there is another couple of fights that maybe we should talk about. I think the welterweight division is absolutely loaded right now. Errol Spence Jr., Manny Pacquiao, that's coming up. What do you think about that?
Give it up. But
Pacquiao still fighting.
Pacquiao is still fighting, and if he,
damn.
he has a chance. I think he has a belt. It's not one of the main. It's a secondary belt, but he does have a belt right now. So I think that welterweight division is really, really nice. You have Thurman, you have Errol Spence Jr., you have Pacquiao, who's still formidable because he just beat somebody to sleep almost. So I really do like that division. So watch out. So watch out for that division. Once again, do me a favor, hit the share button. We are live. We are simulcasting.
And call in 502-594-8570.
502-594-8570. That's funny. So we got a UK fan. That was him on his cameo right here. We got to have him scoot over when we talk about some of this Kentucky stuff in just a minute. So right now, it is playoff basketball. They just had the draft lottery this past week. The New Orleans Pelicans, they were the winners of the lottery. What do you think about the lottery? Did you think that New York really had a chance? What do you think about the new system with the Pelicans? The new lottery system with the Pelicans only having a 6% chance of winning the lottery, and they won the lottery. So what do we think about that? Hey, let's talk about it.
I'm disappointed in the NBA. We all know the old rumors of the rigging of the lottery, and people can say what they want. But to me, the two most struggling markets in the NBA, New Orleans and Memphis, get the 1 and 2 pick, and then your 3, 4 are the two largest markets, L.A., New York. It's coincidence to me, I guess, or whatever.
The conspiracy theories come out.
I didn't want to see Zion go to New Orleans. I mean, the NBA just threw New Orleans the biggest bone ever, especially with they facing losing Anthony Davis. So what better way to recover? Because their franchise pretty much would have been doomed if Davis.
Oh, yes, right.
I mean, because the trade, whatever they trade him for, is pennies on a dollar.
Yeah.
I don't care who you get back, what package you get. There's no replacing Anthony Davis, who's getting ready to go somewhere and compete for titles. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what his end game is. And I feel like they're going to be in the same position no matter what wherever, with Zion in 5 years from now, 4 years when his deal's up, he's walking too. There ain't no championships being won in New Orleans. I mean, they've had great players play there. Chris Paul, now Davis. Now they're going to have a Zion. Like,
we got a call in.
What's that number again?
594 8570.
594-8570. Call in. Is that?
It's 594, Bruce.
I think we got Griff. I think we got Griff asking what the number is.
Hold on. We got somebody online.
Can you hear
us? Can you hear us?
You gotta have the headphones plugged in.
Hello.
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, who we got on the line?
Who we got on
can
the
y'all
line?
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Who we got on the line with us?
This is Montreal.
Montreal.
What's up, Montreal? Look, we got somebody live. He's on the phone right now, so I'm gonna relay what he's saying over the live broadcast. So this is real cool. This is real cool. On the podcast though, that you can the 35K Sports podcast.
Multiple people calling.
We got the phone lines are blowing up. This is good. Montreal, we got him on the line first. Montreal, we got you.
Can you hear us? Hold on, Montreal. Okay, who we got on the line?
Who we got right now?
What up, boys? Griff.
This is Griff. Griff on the line.
What up, Griff? CLB, the City League is officially back this year. We got the Worldwide Art of Graffiti, the #1 ranked hype man in Louisville City's history. He retired a long time ago, said I'm done. City League basketball. What's up, Griff? What you got to say, man?
What's happening? I just wanted to touch bases on what y'all talking about with the NBA. I know, Rayvon, you made a post that the top 2 teams in the NBA draft this year was looking to move to Louisville. Now, my question to you is, with all that's going on in Memphis and New Orleans, yeah, they are struggling franchises out of the 30. But do you honestly think that Louisville can support an NBA franchise?
Okay, so on the live broadcast, I know you can't hear the question, but we got young Griff. We got Griff on. He just said I made a post the night of the lottery, and I had mentioned that the top 2 picks, the top 2 cities, both originally wanted to come to Louisville. The Pelicans wanted to come to Louisville. The Grizzlies, they wanted to come to Louisville. So Griff's question is, do you think that Louisville can support an NBA team? And the reason that I say yes is because it won't just be Louisville that would be like Louisville residents that would be coming to the game. And also, I remember going to a high school game, Griff. It was at Louisville Gardens, and it was Ballard. It was Adam Childs and Brandon Bender, and I believe they played Oak Hill. And me and Beats were going to the game, and people wanted to buy the tickets. They were sold out, and people asked they was like, I give you $75 for the ticket to go into the game. But me and BJ were so interested in this high school game that we didn't even take the $75 a piece. We went on in the game where it was a sold out Louisville Gardens for this high school basketball game. Now, so when you think about a city like the size of Memphis, or the city the size of Oklahoma City, or the city the size of Sacramento, even though Sacramento is in the capital of California, I do think that our fan base and our passion that we have, we can get 15,000, 16,000 people average a game at the Yum Center for an NBA team.
I got to play devil's advocate. Like on a random Tuesday night.
On a random Tuesday
night, you think that the city of Louisville is going to be able to support
right team and players,
a multi-million-dollar franchise? Like, the thing is I always talk about, the money that's going to come from outside of Jefferson County. Do you see a family of 4 paying from E-Town? Let's say E-Town is 30 minutes away from Louisville. Do you see a family of 4 spending that kind of money to come to a game on a random Tuesday night against New Orleans?
So this is what I say to that. So there's not much else going on in Louisville on a Tuesday night. So it also depends on when it is in the season. If it's January and Louisville, the University of Louisville has a game on a Wednesday against, let's say, a Wake Forest, and then a family of 4 has a team where, say if we have the Pelicans and Anthony Davis was here, and he's a former Kentucky player. So we have the Pelicans playing against, I don't know who, the Phoenix Suns, one of the worst teams in the league. But the Phoenix Suns, they have Devin Booker, who's also a former Kentucky player. They also have Raymond Spalding, who's a former Louisville player. Or let's just say on a random Tuesday night, they're playing the Atlanta Hawks. So you mean to tell me that there's people who wouldn't want to go see Trae Young and John Collins versus when Louisville is playing the next night versus Wake Forest or Georgia Tech?
I think it's a good draw, but I mean, didn't UofL have a hard time actually getting people in the stands to watch basketball this season? Wasn't it?
I think that's because a lot of the circumstances. Griff, you still with us, Griff?
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, I'm here.
So what do you think, Griff? You called in. Do you think that we can support a team?
This is how I look at it. We are a city that's not a major market with professional teams, so it could be a situation like a OKC or a Portland that don't have baseball teams or NFL teams of that nature. But I honestly think if we was to get an NBA team, I'm not even saying Louisville, I'm just saying the state of Kentucky, I think Lexington will pull a bigger draw than Louisville will.
So on we're going live. Right, give me 1 second, Griff. Give me 1 second, Griff. So we're going live. So if you listen to the podcast, we're simulcasting right now. So what Griff said right now to the people who are listening live is he thinks that Lexington would be a bigger draw for an NBA team. Okay, go ahead, Griff.
And the reason why I say that is because, I mean, I understand what you're saying as far as like when you went to go see Ballard and Oak Hill, that was a one-game situation. Oak Hill had some nice names at the time. I want to say they had Hawkins. They used to play for Kentucky and a couple other guys that was on that.
Oak Hill did have they had a nice roster, but let's still be we're still talking about high school guys.
That was a one-game situation. Now we're talking about 82 games.
Go ahead, Griff. Go ahead, Griff.
We're talking about one game versus 82 games versus a college season. We can't even get the state championship back in Louisville. So the reason why I say that, I think the county team, the county city, will go to Lexington before they'll come to Louisville, just on past history. Like, when's the last time the state championship has been in Louisville?
The basketball state championship, I believe.
The basketball state championship.
I believe it was 92, maybe. It may have been 90. It may have been 92. And the reason is because they had said they wanted Lexington is more centralized. So that does validate your point a little bit. Central is more.
But at the same time, you got to look at Milwaukee and Marquette situation. Are they both going to play in the Yum Center, or is the pro team eventually going to branch out and try to build their own arena and bring their own revenue in solo, basically?
That could happen. Give me a thumbs up if you can, like on the live broadcast. If you just heard Griff, give me a thumbs up. You only have this. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear him coming through the phone just a little bit. So
because at the end of the day, Rayvon, reason why I say that, Louisville's probably in the top 10, might be even in the top 5 next cities that will get an NBA team as far as from the NBA is concerned. Now, if a team like Oklahoma City, Portland, not saying that they are, have more stuff going on than us, but we're a basketball state. There's no reason why we shouldn't have a team, no matter where it's at. But, I mean, we could go all the way back to the ABA days when John White Brown sold us out. We could have been in the NBA with the Pacers, Nuggets, Nets, and the Spurs. Actually, it was the Colonels before the Spurs was even involved, and then the Spurs got involved. So we should have been already in the NBA. But as far as financially, like you were saying, Red, do you think a family of 4, if they're not selling out the college games, can support an NBA franchise?
Now, but I do think you have so many opportunities, though, that it may not be a family of 4. It may just be the guys. We be like, man, we're gonna go down, get a couple of beers, and we're gonna go to the game on a Tuesday night. I do think that Louisville can support an NBA team. like I said, if you have Griff, we got some other people we gonna get on. I appreciate you calling in. I get back with you a little bit later on, Griff. Look, it's what we might be able to do. So I might be able to, if you want to call in.
I'm gonna call Montreal back.
If you want to call in, I might try to get you on, plug you on the live too.
I think the growth of the downtown business district would really help. Even though it's stuff that we're not, necessarily, all the bourbon,
right,
trails and all that stuff, but they are building that area up.
Yeah, Montreal's you on?
Yeah, I'm on.
Okay, here we go. We got Montreal back on the line. Go ahead,
hit the share button on the live program. What's up, Montreal, man? Sorry for the.
Hey, what's going on, man?
So what you got to say? Also, give me a thumbs up if you can hear Montreal. Just give me a thumbs up.
Yeah, what was we on? What was on that Wilder? I'm back on that Wilder. Going. Yeah, I think he should go over to the UK, take them Brooks like Earl Spence did with Kell Brook.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Spence went over to Kell Brook, home turf, took the belts. If it's gonna be a second fight, then it'd be to the USA. But he should go over and take them belts from London.
Give me a thumbs up if you can hear Montreal on the live. So let me ask you this Montreal. Montreal, if you can't hear on the live broadcast, we're talking about he just talked about the fight again. He talked about the fight again, and he said that he thinks that we probably should go over there to England for the fight. Probably should go over there to England for the fight. So let me ask you this. You mentioned Earl Spence. Do you think that Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford is a bigger fight to be made than Wilder, Anthony Joshua?
Yes, off the dribble.
So you would rather see okay, all right. So why would you rather see the welterweights than the heavyweights?
Because I just feel like at welterweight division it's tough right now. You got too many superstars. You got Porter, you got Bell, you got Thurman, you got Crawford.
They said you could barely hear you. Just speak up just a little bit louder for me, Montreal, so everybody can hear you.
Can you hear me better?
Yep, that's good.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm old school. I'm an 80s baby, so
80s baby, 80s baby in your old school? Oh gosh.
I'm old school. I'm an 80s baby, man. But I feel like I grew up on that Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns type of generation. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I just feel like with that Earl Spence and Crawford, I think Al Heyman and Bob Emmer used to come to agreement and let everybody see that fight.
Yeah, so it's always the promoters that make it a little bit rough.
Heyman and Bob Earn. Bob Earn never did good business anyway. Right now he's on Tyson Fury. He paid him all that money. But we need to see that fight, though, pound for pound.
But Bob Burnham, though, he's been around for a long time. He's made some big-time fights. He was,
Yeah, he made some big-time fights. But you know what he did to Floyd, though,
Did he do that to Floyd, or did Floyd do that to himself?
Then he go Jay Prince, then.
Floyd signed that deal. Floyd is the one who signed that deal.
Let me ask y'all this. How long has Jay Prince been in the boxing industry?
He just mentioned Jay Prince.
15 plus years.
But has
started Mayweather.
Well, Mayweather's been around longer than 15 years, so that's totally not true.
Well,
that's totally false.
One of the first promoters of him before he gave him to the Bobcat.
No, Bob Earn was his first promoter.
Now he paid Jay Prince $600,000 to get out of that contract.
That's right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
You're right.
Hit the share button for me on the live broadcast. Hit the share button for me. Hey, all right, Montreal, we appreciate you. We got some more calls. We're going to try to get everybody in. So
I appreciate y'all calling me back, man. Stay up, y'all.
No doubt. 594-8570. 594-8570 is the number. Call in, man. Make sure we got open lines. What's up, Bruce Sweeney, man? I appreciate Bruce. He's always we got a fellow UK fan in the building with you right now, Bruce.
So we rocking, man.
Go to a different topic. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a quick break on the podcast. We'll be right back. Go get you something to drink. Come right back to 35 KY Sports and Rayvon Churchill. We're back with 35KY Sports. We're simulcasting right now. We're broadcasting live on Facebook Live, and we have good summer talk. There's not a lot to talk about in the summer. We always have basketball to talk about. Let's talk about the NBA playoffs. Let's get to the playoffs. Can anybody beat the Golden State Warriors?
Nope. Well, they got a chance the next 2 games with KD being there, game 3 and 4. So, but it's still Golden State still got too much for Portland. It's supposed to be in Denver anyway.
I feel like this Western Conference Final is they just gave Golden State a layup with this matchup. I don't know what's going on with Lillard and McCollum, but they just I don't know if it's Clay and Steph just got them lost in it or what, but they don't even look like themselves out there playing against them. I don't know if they just they cashed all their chips in from their first 2 rounds. Game. And I mean, keep in mind, this is the same team that was beat last year by New Orleans in the first round. A Rondo-led Pelicans team with Davis. So I'm really, it's good that.
So are you saying that they've overachieved? They've overachieved so far?
Yeah, I would say they've maxed out everything they can get, especially with the injury to Nurkic this postseason. To be in the Western Conference Finals, I gave them a fighter's chance when the series started, especially with no KD. When you put that in quotations,
I think they're going to win Game 4. Somebody said the playoffs are crap. Do you agree or disagree that the playoffs are crap? Or are the playoffs crap because...
Don't say that man's name.
Because that man
the
is
king
not
ain't in the league.
I know
in the playoff, man. The greatest ever.
The East has been good.
That man is not in it. Is it not interesting? Because it's like it's a foregone conclusion that Golden State is going to win. Is that what it is? Is it a foregone conclusion that Golden State is going to win and nobody can beat them?
I'm of the opinion the NBA for a product needs to develop new stars on this stage. So it's good that Greek Freak, it's good that Kawhi being on his own team now are having this stage. Philly with that trio.
It's good for who?
The NBA.
It's good for the
NBA.
It's good for the NBA that Milwaukee or Toronto is going to be in the finals.
It's all about the players.
Do you know this is going to be probably one of the lowest rated finals in history?
It won't be worse than the finals that had San Antonio and
New Jersey,
in Indiana or New Jersey. What the hell was in the finals?
San Antonio, New Jersey was bad, but look though, we're talking about look at the markets though. Still, New Jersey's New Jersey. We're talking about Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
But we are talking about they have a player
because of the freak Greek,
possibly could be challenging for
stars.
for the best player in the league here.
Oh,
I'm not calling him that. I'm just saying he is in that regard right now.
He's definitely had one of the best seasons.
He is an MVP candidate. You know what I mean? He's the MVP more than likely. Yes.
Hit the share button for me.
That's help Eric Bledsoe.
I like that the NBA new stars are developing. LeBron James is in his 15th year, and he's been in the finals a decade straight almost. So at some point the NBA, just like the NFL is going to go through it when Tom Brady fades away, that there won't be a Tom Brady in the Super Bowl anymore, and the NBA is better equipped to move on and be in a better place.
So imagine 5 years from now, when LeBron is probably done,
his son gonna be
KD is going to be done, the Golden State Warriors dynasty is probably going to be over. Are we going to go back to those first few years without Michael Jordan in the NBA? Is it going to be watered down, or it seemed like it's watered down, like the post Michael Jordan era? It was tough to get it back. It was tough to get back. You had some of the low rated finals that you have. San Antonio started to come up right then and there. Nobody really wanted to watch San Antonio play basketball. I mean, it wasn't fun watching San Antonio play in June, but they were continuously there, and it took a while for the NBA to get that cachet back. Do you think the post LeBron NBA is going to be hard for them to get what they had back?
I don't think so, only because we have more younger stars in the making in the league now that they may not be able to carry the torch in the promotion like a LeBron do, but if Zion Williamson do like we know he's going to do, we good for another 10, 15 years to have that one player for all fans to enjoy in the norm. Like the NBA's in good hands. I agree with Al that it's good to look on the East and we don't see LeBron. Whether we thinking market-wise, that's money, but not all fans is looking at the NBA as money. We looking at it as enjoying basketball. So we see Milwaukee. We see the Freak Greek doing what he's doing. And that just makes it more exciting. Now, do we think they going to beat Golden State? No, but I can watch Toronto.
They're going to get swept.
So we have a guy on the
I think if they go up, man, Warriors going to sweep them.
No.
If no KD, this is the X factor. They're going to sweep Portland, and they're going to get them now there. But we do not know the extent of this Kevin Durant injury, and it ain't no game. That area that was pulled, it leads down into the Achilles. Now they're saying Iguodala is having an MRI. So Golden State is, no matter what, this finals run, this dynasty they put together, they're limping to the end right now.
Okay, so we have a viewer on the live. He says, unless you have more than 2 NBA stars, you're not going to win in the NBA. And
Cardinal Dave, shout out.
And so that points out to Portland. They maxed out at 2 stars, and it looks like they're about to get swept out of.
And
so let's go to
phone lines are open.
Yeah.
So let's go to so with Dave's point, how many stars do the Milwaukee Bucks have?
1.
So you saying that they have a chance, and do you think they have a chance to beat the Golden State Warriors?
Yes.
With a team that has never been this far, and the lights in June basketball are some of the brightest lights ever. And there's a possibility that you have a 75% KD coming back. 75% KD.
That's what the KD caveat is, what I give them the opportunity now to knock them off. Without KD in the lineup or KD not at 100%, it opens up the door for upset. We all know that they are limping to the finish line to end this run. And I like the matchup. I think they physical on the perimeter with Bledsoe and Brogdon. I think they keep good size out there. They always got 2 7-footers on the floor at all times. With Mirotic, with Lopez, they shoot the 3. I like the matchup.
So I think because one of those 2 is going to be limited because they're not going to be able to defend. So Lopez and Mirotic, they're going to be limited if they do make the finals because they cannot defend.
I don't think you change up. Here's what I say. When you look at basketball and the styles, all right, we've already seen what trying to beat Golden State fighting fire with fire is with Houston. Shooting threes, running up and down the floor with them, and where that gets you at, okay? Houston had the best shot of beating them playing the 3-ball game. So if you're going to beat them, I feel like you have to beat them in a different way away from what they do. And I think Milwaukee kind of has some of that pieces going with size, beating and banging them and playing them with physicality. Now, the experience factor is something we can't get away from. This is a team that's been to 5 straight NBA finals. There's no replacement.
You talked about them going to possibly their 5th NBA finals. And
they're going.
And probably so. And the attrition starts to wear in. Andre Iguodala was hurt the other day. And so he's one of the older guys on the team. So it's going to take him. And they said it's a pretty significant calf injury, so it may take him some time.
He may be done.
So we need to now. I give them a puncher's chance because they do have one of the top players in the NBA with the Greek Freak, but I'm just not sure that Toronto or Milwaukee will be ready to can beat Golden State
to dethrone them completely. Right, I agree.
Not this year,
and that's one of the things when we was talking about the new stars and where the league will be in 5 years. That's the thing that has to happen. The development of guys getting the late May and June basketball experience. That's where it comes in, guys developing, and where we can start seeing a better brand of basketball. I mean, Lillard. This is the first time he's played this deep in the playoffs. As good a player as he is, it's no excuse they're getting swept, but it's his first time he's played this deep in the playoffs. So
there was a time that there was the first time that Steph Curry and Klay Thompson made it that deep, and they didn't fold the way that these guys are folding right now. So everybody has to get there for the first time.
Yeah, look at Kawhi the first time he went to the finals. It got chewed up by LeBron.
Kawhi Leonard?
Yeah.
Got chewed up by LeBron the first time they went to the finals?
Mm-hmm.
You talking about the same Kawhi Leonard that won the finals MVP?
But he had an experience before that.
No. Kawhi Leonard, the first time he went to the finals, he won MVP.
Well, but he has played against LeBron and lost in the finals and had moments in the finals where he came up short at the free throw line. So that's what I'm saying. Through those experiences,
Got you.
how he comes to lead his team to the Eastern Conference Finals, take 38 shots in a game, a must-win game where maybe if he was a younger player and hadn't been through that, he doesn't know I got to put the team on my back when ain't nobody else going to step up.
That's true. San Antonio, he wouldn't have did that.
574-8570 is the number, Dave.
594.
594. My bad. I'm trouble with this number. 594-8570 is the number.
Kevin
Dave.
Durant, first time he went to the final, he was the one that came. Him and Harden and Westbrook.
Hit the share button for me. Hit the share button for me. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We're doing a simulcast right now. 35KY Sports, Ray Von Churchill live.
I think they're gonna win.
It's pretty cool. So having a good time on this Sunday.
Kevin Durant.
594-8570.
Early Sunday evening. So give us a call, Dave. We want to hear what you got to say. He's already made quite a few comments on the live show. So we do have, don't forget.
Hey, man, I was talking about the Warriors, man. I got to ask you about Mama Curry. Golly.
I think Mama Curry is one of the best looking mamas in the history of the NBA.
Gotta be.
So imagine what Mama Curry looked like when Dale first caught her. Can you, man,
Mama
Curry is fire hot. Do you understand what that
you think that's where some of those insecurity issues were coming from his wife?
I'm talking about she's like Claire Huxtable hot to me.
Yeah, she is Claire Huxtable level.
She's Claire Huxtable hot to me. You know, I love the mama. She was tripping. Aisha Curry, she got ripped on social media.
And she deserved every bit of it.
What y'all think about that?
She was destroyed on social media.
Sounding pressed out to me.
Yeah,
I ain't
got the perfect life.
I really want to say, but she just needs some act right, man. That's all it is. Curry, she wants that attention. Obviously, Stephen ain't giving her the attention because if he was, she wouldn't worry about it.
Right.
Like the least of her words will be the attention that he's getting from females. So she just needs a little attention from us, from regular guys, for her to tell us no. To hurt our ego.
My thing is that man is one of the best basketball players in the world and is in the prime of his career, and he is locked in. You know what I'm saying right now? And we know he's a locked in. So whatever he's not giving you, who cares? Like, you've got the rest of y'all. He's a great father. He's a family man. He stands there up there with you. You know what I'm saying? So
great father, great husband. What more can you ask for? But you
ain't no scandals came out about him.
No scandals, no nothing.
So
got it out the mud. Oh, we got another call. Got another call
coming in. Hit the share button for me real quick.
Yo, you on with 35KY? Who you speaking with?
Sad, man.
Yo, this is Cardinal Dave.
Cardinal Dave on the line.
What's up, Cardinal Dave? Cardinal Dave, make sure you speak up loud for me, okay? Hey, Cardinal Dave, we have
tell him go Big Blue for sure.
I was about to warn you, Cardinal Dave. We have a big time Kentucky fan in here, so if he,
it's all good. It's all good.
What's up, man? What you got for us?
He might know something. First of all, Cardinal gang to that Kentucky fan, but no, to your point with like the NBA, and I called it watered down and stuff. I think with having a team coming into Louisville, we should have jumped on that ship back in the day with the Colonels. Now we're stuck in the past. It's hard to build that up, and any old guy that you'll talk to right now, he don't even watch the NBA. He might catch it in like the Courier Journal, LeBron won, or the Warriors won again. But he's not getting pumped to take his little kid to a Pelicans game. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, so let me ask you this then, Dave. Bruce, give me a thumbs up if you can hear Dave. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear Dave, Bruce. So, Dave, let me ask you this. What about, we're not talking about like if Louisville had an NBA team in the first year, what they would be able to accomplish. Or maybe even the second year. But let's think if it's a generational thing and we have young kids who are able to grow up as whatever the NBA team is that we have here. And then so in the next generation, you do have kids that are invested. It's going to be hard to get us because we're older. We've always cheered or rooted for another NBA team. But if an NBA team does move here, the next generation is what you go after, and you can't tell me that you think that Oklahoma City can support a team, but Louisville, Kentucky can't.
Have you ever been to Oklahoma City?
I have, and it's a lot of oil money
It's garbage, bro. That's the smallest little network, but I mean, I can't believe. Well, I mean, I guess money talks when you got.
They have a lot of oil
what's his
money
name from UCLA, but yeah, there's nothing to do down there. There's nothing to do down there at all.
But you got to think they backdoored their way into an NBA team when Hurricane Katrina happened. They helped Haynes, I believe.
They did, and then actually
they had a trial run basically.
Yeah,
and then when the Seattle franchise was sold. The owner had originally promised to keep the team in Seattle, and then the first chance he got, he took him to Oklahoma City, which is where he's from.
One thing,
so that's the reason the guy that bought the team is originally from Oklahoma City. You know, he made a lot of oil money.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he made a lot of oil money.
Bringing up Seattle, that actually is our best chance for an NBA team. We need for Louisville to get an NBA team. I think we need expansion. Anytime we have expansion, the NBA grows by 2. You got to put one in the East, one in the West, and it's pretty much been promised to Seattle that they are next up.
And then we have to think of.
They got money there, so they deserve.
Well, the whole reason they lost is because of the arena, Key Arena, back when it was they were going through the dispute of how to fund it.
And then you have to think of with Las Vegas having 2 professional franchises now. Why wouldn't you want to send your franchise to be an NBA team in Vegas? And they have a brand new state of the art arena.
They got to fight it out. They both in the West. You know what I'm saying? So you would want to try to ideally add one. I figure they could probably do it and restructure.
The way you do that is you move Minnesota and Memphis to the East.
Which is where they should be.
You know, which is geographically Minnesota and Memphis should be in the East anyway. So there's ways it can be done. I'm not sure Louisville gets a team through expansion unless it goes to 4, because I do believe that Norfolk, Virginia, and the Virginia area, I do believe that they want a franchise as well.
But look here, all these owners, man. Not to cut you off, but all these owners, they want a quick turnover. So you're talking about Louisville. If we throw them in there and give them, you know what I'm saying, they're going to have an awful turnover. And what they do is they have these advisors, and they look into places. It's sort of like there's no Major League Baseball teams from like Florida all the way up pretty much till Cincinnati. You know, it's just not a good market for where it's at. So they're not going to waste their time. They're trying to get like in I mean, you got Atlanta, of course, the Braves and stuff down there towards Florida and stuff. But anyways, like anything in life, you know, you want a quick turnover. They're not going to just sit there and, you know.
Well, I think the research has been done. They know if Louisville is on the list as one of a possible NBA cities.
Definitely on the list.
I mean, I think
shout out
like
to
we would
NBA
rank
to Lou.
Seattle, Vegas, 1A, 1B, and then Louisville would be 3rd, because also your city has to want it and have an arena capable, and we kind of have that.
They also go by the number of Fortune 500 companies that are within a 100-mile radius. And we don't have a lot of
GE.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of Fortune 500 companies. However, I do think if you have competitive pricing like Atlanta does, because Atlanta has historically struggled to get fans in their arena, and they're a major metropolitan, and they struggle year in and year out, mostly because most people that are Atlanta Hawks, live in Atlanta, they are from somewhere else.
Right.
So
the history of the franchise, too. They've been losers.
Like a commuter.
So I think that's what we were kind of talking about with just if a team has a history of just kind of just being the lovable losers like the Atlanta Hawks have been pretty much. They've never, outside of Dominique Wilkins, what superstar have they had in Atlanta?
That's it.
Like you know, that Josh Smith team then was cool. That's because they had the local ties. But outside of that group, like
that's it.
Mookie Blaylock.
But when you think about, hey,
Dominique. What about Dominique?
Yeah, he said Dominique. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, okay. Dave, we appreciate you calling, man. We got some more calls, but keep on commenting, man. Hit the share button for us, Dave. We appreciate that, man. But Sacramento, they've had one good run in their time in Sacramento, and they still sell at their arena, the old one and the new one. Golden State, before this 5-year run, they sucked for many, many years. Years. And they still had a loyal fan base. So I think it just depends on the city and what the city wants. And I think that
we'll support it.
I like I said, will you sell out the Yum Center 41 times? Like the Louisville Cardinals can sell out the Yum Center 16. Probably not. However, just imagine this: It was a couple of years ago when I think it was Chris Paul was still in New Orleans, and they had a playoff game, a home playoff game, on the first Saturday in May. Can you imagine what the city would be like with home playoff games, Derby weekend?
It's gonna take a while for the franchise to get to that level.
The game will be, by the time the game's over, you'll still be able to do whatever you want to do.
You'll still be able to do whatever you want to do. The race is over.
You'll see the race. You'll catch the game,
and then you'll be able to go kick it. I'm talking about it would just be it would be unbelievable. So I remember and it was not too long after they got to New Orleans that they made that playoff run. And like I said, man, Chris Paul playing on Derby, and it was Saturday. Derby Saturday, so they played Thursday and Saturday.
That'd be a dope.
That would be, you know. And then, like I said, there's not a lot of competition. Yeah. You know, a lot of guys there may not be a total different fan base for NBA games than a Louisville game. Like you may not, you from Louisville, but you're not a Louisville fan. So the probability of you going to the Yum Center just for fun to watch Louisville is slim and none. But if the Pelicans played here, you wouldn't be there. You would go to a game, or you would go to more games.
You can't tell me that if Sacramento played, you're not going to see
I went
Big
to
Aaron
this
Fox.
little networking event.
Sure.
NBA teams know as far as like the tickets and how they have them set up in like 3 different blocks and classes. So they know the games like we were saying, like on a Tuesday night, the game with Phoenix in town that is going to struggle. So at that point, that's the game where you're giving away stuff. You're giving away tickets. They're doing all the giveaways that game, and just to put butts in seats. You know, so they understand that now, and it's, you know, we all know the struggle with sports and trying to get people in the seats these days. And I mean, like, it's not an easy task, but I feel like if we have a chance to get a pro franchise here in this city, and we want the growth, we gotta go for it.
How about that roster makeup?
This is a good topic, man. We're going to take a real quick break. 35 KY Sports, Rayvon Churchill. We're simulcasting right now. Don't go anywhere. Come right back. Hit the button on the podcast, all right? We'll be right back.
And go.
We are back, 35 KY Sports. So during the intermission, we were talking about NBA basketball, and then the name Memphis, this continuously comes up. So we are a college basketball town, a college basketball state, a college basketball area, including Indiana. And I am sitting here with the self-proclaimed biggest Kentucky fan in the Ville.
Real Matt of BBN.
What's up, Matt? So check it out, Matt. We talked about Memphis. Penny Hardaway just secured the #1 ranked recruiting class.
He ain't secure. He got it for now.
He has it for now. So he's for now. He has it for now. What do you think about?
He may not be done adding to it. What are you talking about?
We may not be done either. So
let's talk about let's talk about what you think about Memphis and Kentucky, and like where Memphis is going to, because you got to think, if Penny comes into your living room, you're gonna listen. What do you think about Memphis?
Coming in clean, Ferragamo belt.
Ferragamo, damn.
He can come in and bring some foams. You know, we team Nike in my household, but I don't have no issue with Penny whatsoever. I love what he's doing, and I love that he came into college basketball and putting his foot on a lot of these self-proclaimed greatest coaches or whatever's neck. You know, I have a different outlook. I feel we finally have a black coach who can lead to the promised land and do what Coach K and Calipari and a lot of these other coaches has been doing, you know. But I just need people to realize that this doesn't affect what's happening in Big Blue Nation at all.
How does it affect? When two major recruits, Wiseman and DJ Jeffries.
You keep bringing up DJ Jeffries when he was part of the package deal with Wiseman. We lost one recruit to them, but when have we got a top 5 recruit here in the last 10 years? Not 10, but the last 5 years. We haven't got none.
So and that's the point I'm trying to make. So this being like a realistic Kentucky fan, because you had, you know, for 6, 7, 8 years in a row, you had the number one.
No, we had number 1 or number 2.
That's what I said. Number 1.
Number 2 now.
How many years in a row did you guys have number 1 and number 2?
Oh, 9 years he been there.
Right. Okay.
And we'll end up with at least number 2 this year.
Okay, I got you. So Dave said
Memphis is overrated.
I ain't gonna say I mean,
he said Penny spending that Nike check.
I mean, hey.
I think like Penny has the same resources and the same thing at his disposal as Calipari had.
But he's more relatable.
I think he's. I don't know. Calipari has to be relatable.
I mean,
all the guys
Calipari
that signed with
like,
Calipari, even at Memphis, he had Tyreek Evans, he had Derrick Rose, he had guys that were signing.
Juwan Wagner, he had Darius
Wagner,
Washington,
you know what I'm saying? Darius Washington Jr., Kendrick Perkins, he was going to go there before he decided to go straight to the NBA. So Calipari, he's great with relationships. That's one thing you have to say about Calipari. When he comes into the living room, he's got to be cool as hell because you like, I'm going down there and mess with dude.
Just think of the type of kids Calipari's going to start recruiting now, which is our age group. Them kids, we know Penny from Memphis State. I used to watch Penny kill y'all in the Metro, Luddy, at Orlando.
But do the kids that are being recruited now, if you're 15, 16, 17, you don't remember Penny when he was.
Will, though.
But it's your decision, though.
Yeah, but how many kids' parents don't have no influence? So it's like, I don't have no influence. If my son is anywhere that good, I have no influence. But there is 2 schools that he cannot visit or go to. Like, that's set in stone. You know
how can you
saying?
say that you don't have an influence?
I'm not. He can go to anywhere else.
But that's your influence.
Schools.
You just
that's
said
what I said. Parents have some type of influence. That's what I was saying. Some is different than others. But, like, when it comes to Penny, and the kids in the age group of parents he's going to be recruiting, it's going to be our kids or maybe our big brothers, a little older. We know Penny. Calipari, we know what he can do, and it's something different for once.
Kim Brown said, Penny, would you rather want Penny or PayPal
man, I'm just
Cal?
saying,
He said Penny.
Louisville has paid for more players than Kentucky, and that's
PayPal
fact,
Cal.
right? So they can pay. Calipari ain't never paid a player that we know of.
So Dave said no one remembers Penny in college. I hate to disagree with
I
you,
do.
Penny.
If you know
I don't know where you was
remember
or how old
Memphis
you are,
State.
Dave. But you know,
You
and then
remember him
he
in-
played like
when they
he
just
didn't play in the
kicked
one
the
and done
way
era because he definitely was a straight out of high school type of talent. You know what I'm saying?
You
Like
going from blue chips.
yeah, Penny was tough in college, Dave. And this is when they were Memphis State.
Memphis State.
This is when they were Memphis State. It was pretty good. So I think that when you have Penny coming into your living room talking to your son, I think you have to think about it. But then
parents.
But then I think the one thing that's going to he has to win. So Calipari actually took Memphis to a championship game. So that showed that he was a good coach. Now we all
UMass too.
No, I'm talking about at Memphis though. I'm talking he took so they won while he was at Memphis. So if Penny Hardaway gets these highly ranked recruiting classes and he doesn't win or doesn't even get like to Final Fours, championship games, I don't know because he's still really a relatively unproven coach.
Elite Eight is to me.
How did they do this year in his first year? How did
same record?
I think they were about a 500 team.
They were like 21 and.
So
yeah, they did win 20 games. They did win 20 games. They did win 20 games.
So what I say is coming into they're in the American, right?
Yeah,
year 2 in the American. Cincinnati losing Mick Cronin.
Houston still Houston.
Houston,
so that's your only
Houston. I feel like they need to win the American this season. They need to win the American hands down with that competition level. And at that point, we know how the tournament goes. It opens up. But that's kind of a staple point for Penny moving forward. I did hear some talk about like the TV network with the American. They're not going to be on like ESPN a whole lot.
That's going to change with this class though. They go put them on.
I mean, yeah, we got to see Wiseman. But I mean, I kind of question how long is Penny really going to stay around in college? That's the question.
Born in Memphis, played in Memphis.
I think he's a perfect fit for Memphis.
Yeah, he don't need the money to go to the NBA.
Yeah, they said he's done very well with his money.
Yeah,
he wants to be a part of the fabric of Memphis.
I can dig.
He changes everything.
Yeah, so I think if the NBA team called, he would have to be the head coach.
It have to be Memphis though.
It may have to be the Grizzlies.
They would probably like if they came for him, I could see him, but any other pro team, I can't see it.
So we do have some people. I'm just letting you know right now that you can look on and see. We do have some people trolling you because you're a UK fan.
And a car salesman, the most.
But this is what I would say about Cal. This is what I can say about Cal. He has it. You can allege anything you want, but with all of the shenanigans and all the allegations and everything that came out, Since he's been in Kentucky, his hands have been clear.
Say it again.
His hands have been clean.
Unlike, ain't that's Dave, right? We know how y'all school get down, right? So everything you just said right there about Cal, we can say about y'all previous coach.
Yeah, that's true. That
From
is
the
true.
babysitting, and he didn't leave for LA. We good. Calipari's good. Like as a Kentucky fan, I'm not worried. Like it feels good to bring somebody else to make college basketball more exciting. All it did was change the way he recruited. Now we gotta go out the grad transfers. It's cool. We not used to that, you know what I'm saying? But that's where it has to. That's where we going now, So we go do what it do. And Penny has not beat us for no player but Wiseman. But that's other situations.
That was pretty much the first matchup. That was pretty much the first head-to-head matchup, and he won.
We'll see when we go into 2020 and we can actually get a grasp of players who don't have no connection to Penny, and we go head-to-head with.
That's good.
The thing.
So let me ask you this: they signed Coach Cal to a lifetime deal.
I agree with.
You did agree with that?
Yeah.
So, how many more? Let's say if he coaches, how does Coach Cal? Is he in his 60s?
No, he's 50.
About 57, 58?
In the mid-50s.
Mid-50s. Let's say if he has 10 more years, how many championships do you expect?
One.
You expect one more?
Yeah, I'm not this crazy Kentucky fan. That
I like
been
that.
brought to
I
earth with
like
that sample
No,
already.
I like that.
Well, I would
The
hold on.
person
I
in 10
say
years won title and all these damn Final Fours.
As long as we in the conversation, contention. Every year, last year, the year before, the makeup of the teams ain't been nothing compared to what we know as a Kentucky fan. But he always had
Just like if we get one title out of Chris Mack, we're good.
I mean, y'all have no titles since '86.
We
There's
have
a big
3.
difference. Like, no, y'all have 2. Y'all have 2 in a Orange Bowl with beating Florida. Like, that's Louisville right there. But I'm saying, I'm not one of them Kentucky fans that feel we should win every year. Yeah, Final Four with some teams, Final Four in the makeup this past season. I'm disappointed because it was set up perfect for us to make the Final Four. At least. To me, I'm a Final Four.
If he doesn't, if you guys don't win.
We'll get one in the next 10 years if he's hurt.
Okay.
That's fact.
And you can't
will
say
too.
It's hard to say that y'all won't.
Yeah, y'all girls basketball team. I agree with that. Man, but I agree y'all girl basketball team.
However, it has been, and it's not just you. I think it's been 4 or 5 years since Kentucky and Duke has been to the Final Four. So I think that it was like the Wildcat offense. It was new, it was shiny, and it worked for Coach Cal. It worked for Coach K, and he got them a championship. But when you think about the teams that have won the championships the last few years, it's been the total opposite makeup of what the championship teams that Duke and UK built. When you have Villanovas and a senior-laden North Carolina team, and who won it this past season?
Virginia.
Virginia,
we can't even remember.
A veteran, right? You can't even remember a veteran Virginia team. So I think a lot of people are going to, and I think that if Coach K and if Coach Cal, if they change the recruiting, if they go and get maybe 1 or 2 guys who may be one and done, and then get a couple other guys who are going to stick around for 2 or 3 years, so that when you get to the tournament, you have experience, especially if you keep some guards that are going to be around. Like I think the reason that you guys have struggled recently, and Duke recently, is because you don't have experienced guard play when it comes to the tournament. They're talented, they're just not experienced. And I just think that, like I say, it's proven. With Villanova, North Carolina, Virginia, you have to have experienced backcourts to win the championship.
It just basically all the elite players in the past, y'all see that y'all players get done better by going to Kentucky than it would Duke or anywhere else. So that whole group of elite ones, if he can get them like he used to do, 3 out of the top 10, 4 out of the top 10, we'll be fine. But if we get the players in the 10 pluses that should, like E.J. Montgomery, there's no reason he should be even thinking about leaving. All he wants is a guaranteed second-round pick, and he's gone.
But to me, that's a product of Kentucky, the Big Blue effect, and somewhat today's society with the kids in basketball. But mainly, that's what you all have seen. Guys understand how what the program is. If you don't get out in your first year, you're screwed under Cal.
No,
There's only been, in my opinion, there's only been a couple guys who coming back to school has worked for in his regime, whatever. I mean, I think Terrence Jones, it worked for him, but that was due to a lockout. I think P.J. Washington. He may not have technically improved his draft stock, but he came back a better player. But outside of those, maybe you can, you're the Big Blue aficionado. Maybe you can tell me. But outside of those two guys, what guy in the Cal era coming back?
Cauley Stein for sure.
Cauley Stein, okay. I'll give you one more.
He's one of my favorite Cal era.
Who else, though?
They came back.
Because I can give you a list.
Tyler Eulis.
I can give you a list. He had to, though. He wasn't because of the size.
That one that didn't have to come
back. Okay, I got you.
Now, okay, we can say the Harrison twins, but are we talking about NBA success after coming back? Are we talking about better play? Because they play in the league.
I'm not saying necessarily like the NBA success because that can't be gauged. A lot of that's where you land. But their initial draft stock kind of boom,
it hit,
and then maybe possibly what it does for their career. Because once you get to the NBA, that's its own monster. But I'm talking about the time at Kentucky because there's a long list of guys who came back for that second year and had to get the hell out of there. When you look at Charles Matthews, when you look at
he left
Cal
Charles Matthews, Cal Wiltshire.
But Cal
Wiltshire. You look at a guy like Daniel Orton who just left and got out of there.
There's guys who had bad knees.
There's guys who have just.
EJ
Montgomery's another guy falling in this category who's just gonna leave.
Cal Wiltshire wasn't a Kentucky style
and that's not
player.
even including the list of guards.
Marcus Lee just left. Like these are guys that are they're getting the hell out of there because they're being recruited over. I
mean, so you're going to get recruited over. We're not going to be held hostage. If as a Marcus Lee and a Cal Wiltshire, Marcus Lee, he didn't want to fight for it. He would have played big minutes his senior year had he stayed. Cal Wiltshire wasn't a Kentucky style player. He just wasn't. He was good. He torched Louisville in the game that on record y'all didn't win. But Cal Wiltshire was not the type of player that Kentucky goes after. He committed to Kentucky without ever taking a visit or anything. It was either him or Shane Bohannon. Cal Wiltshire jumped on it. Bohannon didn't get it. Marcus Lee, Marcus Lee is who he is. What was he at California? He didn't get no better. You didn't hear about him. Charles Matthews, he left after 1 year because he himself didn't believe in himself. You would have played that sophomore year. We didn't have no wing. We had to do rescue.
He obviously was a guy that needed some development. He wasn't a one and done type player.
Why wouldn't you stay and get developed at Kentucky? You didn't want to.
I think Calipari has a way of pushing you out. Like,
I said when the because he don't do that.
Because it's like, hey, like what we got coming in next year. And I play freshman. So like Briscoe. I think Isaiah Briscoe is a perfect example of there's no way he should have ever declared. I don't think the Twins should have declared. I don't think Archie Goodwin.
Briscoe wanted to leave after his freshman season. So
I don't think Archie Goodwin should have left. I don't think James Young should have left. I don't think Marquise Teague should have left. I don't think Kyrie Johnson should have left.
Man,
and these are all good players.
But the thing is,
very good.
But listen, are you going to put that on Calipari? Are you going to put that on the people and their handlers? Like, let's say there's some.
I think
it is a product of the program, is what we say.
But it ain't that when he tells you. The only ones that he tells don't come here is the ones that's guaranteed. So James Young was a guaranteed top 15, top 20 pick. He went 17. Yo, you're not telling him to come back. Marcus T, he told Marcus T to come back. That's fact. T can tell you, Daddy can tell you, he told T to come back. Archie Goodwin, Calipari said, I don't know if it had anything to do with Archie Goodwin or not, but after the season, we lost to Robert
Deron Lamb was another one.
Deron Lamb, but I mean, Deron Lamb was leaving. Like, he felt he could do no more. None of them is on Calipari.
Isaiah Briscoe.
And Isaiah Briscoe, like I said before, wanted out. He wanted out. There was no reason.
Why do they want out, though?
I mean, because, as Al said, when the aroma in the program you have built is one and done, so if a player feel he come there, he feels he's a failure. if he don't be in that one, it done like they just feel that way. He don't push nobody out. That's one thing all of
He
the
doesn't
players
have
said.
to, but now the program has been built.
But you look
with,
at the
with
roster.
that.
Look at the roster the next year with the players that you talking about that left where they
Yeah,
would have played.
They just replace it. I mean, they just replace it with a new group of 5 stars.
Not necessarily.
That's like us right now.
Not necessarily.
Stephen Enoch. He's got to come back. He's put his name in the draft, but he's got to come back. All right,
Not the same.
and yes, it is. This is a guy, and we're bringing in a big time recruit, Aiden Nagahan, this season. And what if, kick Stephen Enoch to the curb? There's really no place for him. We see that with the guys at
But
Kentucky.
it
There
is.
is no place for
You
Stephen
need
Enoch
foul
in the
trouble.
NBA.
It's none in
Right
the
now.
NBA, but that's Stephen Enoch.
He's
Our
best
players-
served.
our players
Just like
got
there
better
is no,
upside
there's
than
no,
y'all.
there's no place for EJ Montgomery in the
How come
NBA
it's not
right
dude
now.
has dope upside. How come
Right
you
now,
put
there's a
him-
spot for him
in the
in the
NBA,
G
they
League?
would put him in the G League and let him play for 2-3 years.
in the
2 for 3
in the G
years.
League.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
on
but
a
I'm-
2-way
Some
contract
players would rather have that. Enoch can't even get that.
for the next 2 years, and then he fizzles out.
So that'd be the same thing as some players they're cool with that. Some parents is cool with that. Why wouldn't EJ want to come back and take the PJ route? I don't know, but EJ Montgomery was committed at Auburn and won, so he was a fallback player in the first place. He came.
Now he was a fallback player.
I mean, he was.
You just gonna shit on your guys like that?
What I'm saying is when he
McDonald's
committed.
All-American.
No, when he committed to Auburn.
I claim Stephen Enoch. He's a transfer.
No,
It's
when
an
he
even our
committed-
guy.
at First, he committed to Auburn like we really wasn't on him like that.
This is
You know what I'm
this
saying?
is
Like what I'm
this is a
what I'm
UConn
saying
guy.
is when the Kentucky players leave, just recently have we started having second round picks. All our players before the past 3 years was first round.
who's the highest rated one this year coming out?
I don't know. Last
Check,
mock draft
check.
I seen was Keldon Johnson at 15.
15.
He was 15. Tyler Hero
Nah,
was 18.
the one I
and,
saw, it had the mock
TJ
draft.
Washington 28.
The mock draft I saw, it had Euro. It wasn't the rankings, but it was just a mock draft. I forget who it was. They had Tyler going like 17, and Keldon was at the 20th pick. But not saying that that's where they had him ranked.
That's
But
where I agree. Like if you asking me, Keldon Johnson and Tyler Hero should have came back. Both
Yeah.
should have came back.
yeah,
That Keldon Johnson, I know for sure that stuff ain't great work in the league because you're not overly athletic. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have no ball game skills. You can't dribble, no ball skills. Tyler Hero, you got the ball skills, but that slow stuff ain't great work in the NBA right now. But he goes somewhere like Oklahoma, it could, which is the mock draft I just seen today. He could, because Westbrook at Georgia already opens the game up for him. Somewhere like that, he falls in right there at the 18th pick. That's gonna be a great pick for him.
for Keldon Johnson.
No, for Tyler Hero.
I can't say anybody going to play with Russell Westbrook's a great pick right
It ain't
now.
a great, but I'm saying the floor be so much open for Hero to do what he do if they need be. Like all of them.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that Tyler Euro was better than what was the kid's name from Duke? The one that had the kick in
Grayson
front,
Allen.
Grayson Allen.
He better ball skills than Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen was more athletic, but Grayson Allen stayed 3 years, 4 years, whatever.
Right, and so Grayson, that was the point I was about to make. So Grayson Allen stayed a couple of years to develop, and he never saw the floor for Utah. And I don't think he's ever going to see the floor a lot. And
I think that was a terrible pick.
So what I thought when I looked at Tyler Hero, and you watch more games than I did, I'm sure, but I think defensively he's going to struggle. He's going to struggle. Like in the Auburn game, and I don't know if it was his fault. I don't know if it was Cal's fault. I don't know if it was just the situation. But the way he kept on getting killed over and over and over in the second half in that Auburn game, he was exposed defensively. But is that his fault though? He's a freshman.
I will give him. He wasn't known as a defensive player, and I will give Tyler Hero. He wanted that. Like when we played the who's the go-to? Was it Wolford? When we played him?
Wofford,
I mean,
yeah.
that's a good
And
matchup
he wanted,
for him now.
but I'm saying, he wanted
Wofford.
that shooter.
I want him too.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's who he wanted to guard. So I mean, that's just running all over. That takes.
But when you think about getting to the next level though, like if he goes to OKC, he's not going to see the floor.
I feel like
see it over
all I'm
Ferguson.
You
saying
got
is
Ferguson, you got Diallo, Hamadou. You know
Hamadou.
what I'm saying? He's not better than either one of those guys. He's not. So he's not going to play. So
all skill is though. And if JJ Redick can make it,
I hate to be
no, JJ Redick's one of the best shooters we've ever seen. He's one of the best shooters
and
we've ever seen.
He's the reason the 76ers is not gonna make it past the second round ever of any player.
I don't think he's the reason. I think it's the personnel's reason. I don't
link.
think you can have JJ Redick as the starter on a championship
That's what
team
I'm
either.
saying.
But is that his fault? I think he's a 6 man. But he's definitely a guy that you want in your team. He averaged 16, 17 points a game. He's one of the best shooters we've ever seen, especially at the NCAA level.
I give you the NCAA level. He's not one of the best shooters that we. He's a dime a dozen in the.
No.
He's stuck in
Dime a dozen people don't shoot 40% or better over the course of a 10+ year career, and that's the reason he's still in the NBA is because
a lot of Anthony Tolliver that played.
He's nowhere near the shooter JJ Redick is.
But I'm saying, he shot over 40% majority of his career.
But he wasn't in the NBA as long as JJ Redick though.
But that's what I'm saying.
So and then because he's a specialist.
He's not even a specialist.
Who, JJ Redick's not a specialist? Why is he starting in the NBA then? Why?
I ain't gonna say, but they
why? Because he's why? Please say it. Well, why? This is 35KY Sports. I didn't know we were censored. Are we censored?
No, we don't answer nobody.
Is the SEC gonna be like, hey man, we gonna fan man for saying something about JJ Redick?
I'm not saying JJ Redick is not a good player because he is, but there's nothing special.
I'm not even saying he's a good player.
Redick.
I'm saying he's a great shooter.
He's a good player, like JJ Redick.
I would say great shooter over good player.
Yeah, I'm gonna say great shooter over good player.
That's just what you're gonna think because he's a white player in the league, so you go automatically.
But that's all he's done his whole life.
But you can't sit here.
It didn't work for the Jimmer Fredettes and the
and Bob what was his name?
Jimmer Fredette was 6'1".
Morrison, Adam Morrison.
It didn't work for them guys that are white specialists. So you can't just say because he's white.
But no, what I'm saying is Jimmer Fredette. I mean, not Jimmer Fredette. JJ Redick is also a good player. That's what I was saying.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
He can shoot, but he also can
do other things. Yeah,
too.
he can do other things.
Like that's what I was saying. That makes him saying that. I think Tyler Hero, not to that level because I don't think he'll be the shooter that he was, but he has more ball skill. Like they pull up baseline jumpers. You a coach. That's one of the hardest things to do on either side of the baseline, and to do it how he did, any legitimate 6'6" and shoot. He has the potential to be good. I still think he should have came back. But he has the potential to stick in the NBA. I do. I wish we can it was online. It was two. It was like the 20 worst decisions. It was Kentucky and Duke. And that's where it was a list, and it was an amazing list when you just look at the names. Some of the names you forget on both sides, Kentucky and Duke. So it was Jahlil Okafor he was a poster guy. You know what I'm saying? Like the 20 biggest early entry mistakes or whatever. And so the list for both of those teams was amazing. So if you ever get a chance, you can just pull it up on Google, and it's kind of like the 20 biggest draft busts from. That's what it is. 20 biggest draft busts from Kentucky and 20 biggest draft busts from Duke. I forgot who they had when they had Kentucky on there, but it was just like the list is amazing. Like
Sam Bowie.
Oh no! This is more recently though. This is more recently.
Yeah,
Plus, Sam Bowie can be like, I went before Michael Jordan, so he didn't make a mistake coming out. You know, he was just always hurt. So are we pulling that up, Matt? You pulling that up? Are we gonna stay on? We need to take another break.
Yeah, let's take another break.
Let's take another break, man.
Yeah,
go use the bathroom,
break,
sip a drink,
come back.
Go outside, take the dog outside, let the dog do what they gotta do. Come on right back. 35KY Sports.
From Georgia, when you're from Georgia, and you go there. What I remember about Ryan Hurl, the year he sat out.
Why not go Georgia Tech?
Maybe they didn't want him, or they didn't have a scholarship.
He was a bum.
How is he a bum, dog? When Louisville put all their chips and threw the pussy at him, how was he a bum? How was he a bum? Ryan Hurl was legit, bro. Louisville was recruiting him too.
We recruit bums, though.
Man, I don't know. I don't agree.
Rick Pitino did.
We're even talking about
Ryan Hurl ain't a bum, dog.
It's 20 guys on that list, and not one time have you said, yeah, that was a fucked up decision.
I mean,
not one.
No, because when I look at him, how can I say it was a fucked up decision?
Marcus Teague.
All right, we can say he should have came back.
There's no doubt he should have came
But
back.
how can you say a player that's drafted in the first round should come back?
It doesn't matter where you drafted if you should.
So are we talking about if your son is guaranteed a first round draft pick, are you gonna tell him come back, bro?
So let me ask you this.
No, are you gonna tell him come back? If he gets a guarantee, no matter what, first round.
So let me ask
are you gonna tell him come back?
Let me ask you this though. So do you want your son to get a guaranteed 2-year contract, or do you want your son to get 7, 8, 9 years? So all those guys on that list, most of those guys on that list, and there's way more guys on that list than have been successful in the NBA.
I'm looking on the
they
list.
got maybe one contract. Some of them didn't even go in the first round. It was a
Who already
mistake.
didn't go in the first round? Everybody on this list. We just now started having second round picks the last 3 years, bro.
So which one is it? Nobody goes, or you just start having? Which one is it?
No, what you talking about? I'm talking we just started having second round picks.
So you just said we don't have them. You said we don't have second round picks. We just
No, I said we
second round picks
didn't have them
2
till
years ago.
3 years ago.
So which one is it? You don't have them, or you just start having them?
Man, you know what I'm talking about. We just had them going back 3 years ago, bro. Like the second round pick. How can you say
That's what I'm saying.
So if you're a second round pick, how can you?
Even
What
some
I'm
of the
saying
decisions,
is,
though,
well,
aren't smart decisions for the long run.
Some you can say.
And you was like, this is a horrible draft. So that's been the case for years. So
We're
if you
back
are
to
if you're a
talking
freshman
Kentucky
like James
basketball.
Young, and you're like, hey, the draft is going to be horrible this year, and the reason every draft recently has been horrible is because we've had so many freshmen and sophomores go in early in the draft, which makes it seem like they flame out because most of them just aren't ready. Not just from Kentucky. This is from Kentucky. This is from Duke. This is from Arizona. This is from Kansas. All those blue bloods that send like freshmen early.
Us blue bloods. Those blue bloods.
Okay, those blue bloods. Okay, those blue bloods. So when all of those guys go to the NBA, it's not always a smart decision because if you stay and get better. So, no, I'm gonna bring it back to this. So before this era of one and done, so let's talk about some of the all-time great NBA players, and how many of those players played more than 2 years in college, and it did not affect them at all. So it's no reason that you have to feel like I have to go after my freshman year when it's been proven. So some of the
Because the end game is longevity in the league.
it's longevity. So
You want to do 10 years, not 3,
Not
and be out
3.
after your rookie.
not 3, and then end up
Touch 3 years, you get the benefit package, right?
Oh, they ain't giving no benefits
No,
for that.
he's right. He's right.
After 3 years, you
If-
get
if-
the benefit
if
package
you-
in the NBA.
if you-
Oh, so is that what Cal setting up? He wants to.
I'm just
That's
saying, but
that's
you can
right.
make it 3
He's
years,
right. 3 years.
You can make it 3
The-
years.
3 years in the
You
G
play
League
3,
don't
4
count, though,
seasons.
do it.
No, but 3 years though, you
get the
good.
pension. Now that pension is only.
It ain't gonna be as good as.
It's
The
like
long
it's gonna be like
run.
$300. I think they get.
Yeah, it ain't nothing, but you get the.
And when can he get it? When can he touch it?
But what I'm saying is, I'm not agreeing that a lot of them was ready. I should have stayed.
Okay, that's all we want to hear you say. Instead of saying,
but I
instead of
can
having
say-
an excuse for every
It ain't
single
excuse,
one.
but I also can't
All right,
say
let's
that
put
they
a
made the
bow
wrong
on it.
decision either.
We back. We got.
So how can you say they didn't make the wrong decision when they're not in? I think the point of is it getting to the league or staying in
If
the
you
league?
get to the league and can't get better in the league, how you gonna get better in college?
Because you're playing. You're not. You're probably like
Because sometimes
the
playing-
amount of time on the floor is.
They got the D league.
This is my-
You got unlimited.
This is
training.
my opinion when it comes to that. Some
Not
guys,
the NBA.
some
they don't practice as much as the
some
NBA
guys in their
college.
basketball career have never had the chance to be the man and shoot the ball. It's not going to happen at the NBA level. So I'll give you 2 prime examples of that Louisville that walked through our doors that had that. Shinanu Anawaku left early. He could have came back. He would have been a junior, and he would have been the focal point of that offense
have
that
got
year.
better.
Yes, he would have got better because he would have touched
just
the
would have got
ball
more
every
touches.
play, and he would have been able to develop a touch and put it in. So guess what? He
How
goes
could he
to the
not get
pro.
that in the
He's not
NBA
going to get
though?
that in because he's never going to touch the ball in the league.
He go to the D league and get
He's
it.
never going to touch
So
the
how-
ball in the
so
league.
how's he gonna do
so,
that?
in the reverse is Ray Spalding, someone who we know for a fact because we watched his high school career, he never got to shoot the ball. But guess what? His junior year of college, he finally got that ball in his hand to put up shots and get his reps up.
And got
What did
better
that do
and
to
better
him?
and better.
That solidified him. Yes, he was a second-round pick, but guess
Now,
what? He was better for more for
anybody
the
that-
experience,
anybody
the
that
game
know-
experience that he had.
That
He was
know
better off for it.
basketball, You can look at Spalding and see he had an NBA game. Now I will give you that him coming back. That because he was thinking about leaving his sophomore year. He came back and he got
the confidence,
all the way better.
The confidence and the game experience. It's not every player, but the confidence and game. But what I'm talking about,
game experience cannot be substituted.
I'm talking about
for 30 games when they go get that.
It doesn't matter. No,
30 games.
They don't go to.
And they're not going to practice.
But look how many good players are already in the D League though. So it ain't like if you're a freshman, you just gonna go to the D League.
No, but if you get drafted, you're going. Because you're on that team, so that's almost guaranteed. You're not fighting for a D-League
Not
spot.
necessarily true. You might be the 13th, 14th, or 15th guy.
But if you get drafted,
like Chinanu Anawaku was the 13th, 14th, 15th guy for Houston. He didn't dress a lot of games, but he was on the active roster. But he just didn't dress. But he wasn't in the D League.
I don't think a player
and then even if you're in the D League, there are men in the D League already.
That's why they protect some players. We talked to Anthony Simons. He spent no time in the D League, and I think Anthony Simons is a supreme talented player. But there are cases of guys. James Young, for one, he was a guy who didn't probably spend a ton of time in the D League. Did he get much better sitting on an NBA bench?
Speaking of James Young, so let me ask you a question. 5 years ago, all the prospects and anybody with two eyes who loves basketball probably would have said that James Young is a better prospect than Seth Curry. Agree or disagree?
Yeah.
Agree. So we all agreed on that. So because they went two totally different routes, we're sitting here watching Seth Curry in the Western Conference Finals and have no idea where James Young is. No, Seth.
Yes, he went to Liberty his freshman year. He would have been 3 years because he had to sit that year at Duke.
Then he played 2 years at Duke, so he played 2 years. So that's 4 total years. His freshman year at Liberty, sat out 2 years at Duke. So we talking about a guy who played the minutes. He got better. If James Young or some of these other guys, if they are able to stay and get minutes, I think you get better.
I'm a big proponent of getting minutes and experience and play. And these are guys that I've seen with my own eye. I just gave you the Anawaku comparison, Ray Spalding, and then I'll give you another one, Montrezl Harrell.
No, he's
another guy
better because of what he puts in now, not in college.
That extra year when he got to touch that
rock.
He
was the same player.
No, he wasn't. He got to touch the ball.
At the top of the key.
His junior year.
He got better once he got to the league. His game expanded, bro. When he was at Louisville them 3 years, all y'all did was add that top of the three key to his game. So besides that, it was that baseline play. Dude.
That junior year prepared him for the role he plays currently right now on the LA Clippers.
So let me ask you, who would you right now has nothing to do with UofL or UK affiliations or anything like that. Who would you rather be right now, Montrezl Harrell or Dakari Johnson? And so one of the reasons, so if you're Dakari Johnson, you sat behind these guys. If you give yourself a chance to get touches, to show that people what you can do, to build confidence, and it's becoming a leader. Montrezl Harrell became a leader his 3rd year at Louisville, and that's why he's in the NBA, because he was a leader. So yeah, his game expanded. All he could do was dunk as a freshman. That's all he could do. No, he got better. You just
they ran the offense through him his junior year. He was in the high post. He operated in the same area he does now.
That jump shot was not. I was saying it being fun. That jump shot was no good his junior year.
But was it the difference though?
It showed the potential.
That's right. So he didn't have the time or the minutes or the touches to do that as a freshman. He didn't have the time and touches as a sophomore. No.
He had them.
Sophomore, yes, his usage increased, but not at the level it was his junior year.
Where did y'all have y'all junior year?
He played with Terry Rozier, Chris Jones.
I'm saying post.
Mango, and he was it. Him and Mango was in there.
So it had to go through him. So you're only going to get better.
And so you're proving our point.
I'm saying
you're going to get better if it goes. If you just said college minutes mean nothing. So if you play minimal college minutes your freshman year at Kentucky, because nobody really plays unless you're Anthony Davis and maybe a few other guys, but don't nobody play a whole lot of minutes though at Kentucky. So if you don't get a whole lot of minutes at Kentucky and then you go to the NBA, how do you know how to play the game?
What I'm saying,
outside of being a starter,
how do you know how to play the game?
My thing where y'all bring it up, Montrezl Harrell, but you tell me that the game we see from him now, we seen any of that at Louisville.
Most players improve from the NBA.
No.
So
I would give y'all one player, and it's a player that even y'all said should have came back.
So Anthony Davis is
Donovan Mitchell.
So Anthony Davis is doing. So what he's doing in the league, he's doing everything he did at Kentucky because he didn't shoot jump shots at Kentucky.
No, he didn't.
So he got better.
But what you're telling me,
so
I
you
don't
get
go by
better
your
once you get to
concept.
the NBA.
He would have got better coming back his sophomore year.
Who?
By y'all concept,
Davis?
Anthony Davis.
No.
He's a once in a he's a
what
once
he-
in a
No,
lifetime
but
player.
that's what I'm saying. Donovan Mitchell, when he was going pro, every Louisville fan said he needed to come back one more year. Now tell me how he would have got better at Louisville one more year compared to him in the league now. Since we use Louisville players.
We are talking about.
I'm just answer it.
We talking
Every
about.
Louisville player thought he should have came back.
He is
That's
correct.
because we had red tinted goggles. Now, but when you go to that combine and you start working out for teams and the feedback you
See,
get, that's
I'm
different.
not looking at it from tinted guy. I'm looking at
No,
it.
we Louisville
You get
fans.
better, but some players
You're talking
get
about
better.
Louisville fans,
so let me-
and the
let me-
chance to have somebody
okay,
come
so
back,
listen though.
an
So-
iconic player come back and lead us to a possibly a title or tournament.
So
run?
no, I'm gonna answer that question this way. We were talking about the one and done situation. So, how much improvement did Donovan Mitchell make from his freshman to sophomore year? So the whole point that we're making is,
But his
that,
freshman-
no. Let me finish.
his
I'll let you finish. Let me finish. He was nowhere. Nobody thought.
Yes, Louisville fans did.
Let me finish. So as a Kentucky fan, after his freshman year, you thought that he was going to...
After that Louisville-Kentucky game his freshman year, when we came in here recorded, I said Donovan Mitchell was an NBA player and he should go pro after that season, his freshman season. That's on foul. I said that.
I didn't. I mean, I wasn't
To
here.
me, he
I
was the
didn't
second
hear.
or third best player on the court in the limited minutes that he played.
Right. So still, let me ask you this, though. Did he not improve from his freshman to sophomore year?
I'm not saying he did.
Yes, that's a yes or no. Yes or no. Yes or no. Did he not improve from freshman to sophomore year? Yes or no?
I'm going to say
Yes
he
or
got the
no?
ball put in his hands
See, that's
more.
what I'm talking about.
He got the
Come
ball
on,
put
man.
in his hands
Come
more.
on, man. That's a simple yes or
But
no.
as the same-
Why
but as
can't you
the-
just say yes or no?
He got the ball put in his hands
All
more.
right. All right.
We gonna leave it at that.
All
He
right.
got the ball put in his hands more. Donovan Mitchell is he got better. I mean,
So you just say yes.
I'm saying he got better, but not every player.
Why can't you just say yes or no? Just for me, one
I
time.
just said he got better.
Hey,
Yes
you
or
done
no?
ran
No,
over
just say yes or
time.
no.
He got better.
No. One
Donovan
time for
Mitchell-
me, yes or no?
Donovan
One time
Mitchell-
for me, yes
Listen,
or no?
Donovan Mitchell got better as a player in college from his freshman
Yes or
to
no?
sophomore season.
That's all I'm saying. So a lot of other players, mostly players that come from, and we can even talk about Duke, like Frank Jones. We'll never hear from him again. Frank Jackson. Gary Trent Jr. We'll never hear from him again.
Other guy, what's the kid that he had him reclassified? Louisville was in on him, and
Derek Thornton.
Yeah.
We'll never hear from him again. Who was the other guy? Trayvon Duval. We'll never hear from him again. So it's not just it's both.
we're able to
programs.
closely more examine Louisville and Kentucky, so we have those
it's
examples.
both
Just like I
programs.
could, if I was a Duke fan, I could give you Duke examples.
Yeah.
But I'm a Louisville fan, so I can sit here and give you.
I just don't agree with every player has to come back.
No, Anthony Davis. No, you
Not
don't come
even
back.
Anthony Davis. I just
The freshman year that Michael Kidd-Gilchrist had, no, you don't come back. John Wall, no, you don't come back. Boogie Cousins, no, you don't come back. Devin Booker, no, you don't come back.
But all those other 47 guys y'all named, they come back.
It ain't 47 either. It ain't 47.
I mean, shit, it seemed like
It
it.
ain't 47. But the other ones that did, you can't say that when if they're a top 10, 15 player. Archie Goodwin was a top 10 player. Some of them players from growing up and they getting the hype, the inner circle.
It was
hype
weak of the
them
mug.
as one and done. You know, there's nothing
Yes,
you can do
yeah,
about
you're right.
it.
You've been sold
There's
on it
something
your whole life.
You can't do about it when you're in a circle and they have this plan. So, as y'all said, Kentucky is the model for that. So, we're going to go here to get there. You can't have them come back. And I'm back on the Ryan Hurl situation. We didn't run that guy out. Now, Kentucky.
I don't think he was the
Kentucky
NBA. I don't think he was
fans,
the NBA prospect. I think he was just like a piece. So let me ask you this. Coming out of high school, the stars they received, the notoriety they received, and all of those things. Just a round of about figure. How many guys in the Calipari era were better than Darius Miller? Guards. We're just talking about the guards. Were better than Darius Miller.
I'm a Darius Miller fan.
So
Like,
Darius,
I'm as big as advocate.
right?
after Darius Miller.
Right, so
well, speak up for him then.
So you can combine like maybe Deron Lamb, Archie Goodwin, Jimmy Young, a couple other guys. You can combine the length of their careers, and it doesn't equal Darius Miller. So Darius Miller,
a couple of 1 years will equal. If we go,
I just said you know just a couple guys. You know what I'm saying? But my point is though, those guys were thought to be better than Darius Miller. So Darius Miller continued to come back and improve his craft, and I think that's why he was able to stay in the NBA. So my question is, getting there and staying there is two totally different things.
When you a top 50 recruit, your inner circle ain't as eager and hungry as if you're a top 25 recruit. It's different. It's just different. When you're inner circle top 50, they're imagining you 2, 3, 4 years. Darius Miller, most figured he was going to be 4 years. That's just how it is. But when you're top 25, top 30, and we talking about today's game, because if it was really about Kentucky, then why the hell are we not getting the elite ones? We haven't got them since Jamal Murray.
But there are agents, there are draft experts when these kids make these decisions. So I don't care what your inner circle and all this good stuff says. These are not educated decisions. Some of these players
don't matter.
I agree with that.
It don't matter.
There are projections and experts, and they go to work and all of that stuff. The whole 9 yards.
A lot of them not, but then you get somebody like Jared Vanderbilt where you done had ACL issues your sophomore, junior, senior year in high school, and you had the issue half of the season at Kentucky. They want you gone to get that check. They cool with a second round. The Harrison twins. How much more?
But if you're Jared Vanderbilt though, do you? I just don't think you settle for a couple of 100,000, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 years.
Some parents will.
But we're not talking about the parents though. We're talking about the kids.
To sit here and act like these parents don't have no.
I didn't say they don't. I
didn't
didn't say they don't.
He didn't even play.
But
but he was dressed on the Denver Nuggets sideline the whole season, every game. He was the dude cheering. He was cheering. He dressed, so he got that paycheck. Right.
So, but that's 1 year on a second round. So we're talking about $400,000 or $500,000, which is not like in the grand scheme of things. That's not a lot. So next year he's probably gonna get $400,000 or $500,000, and then the year after that, if he's still there, and then the year after that, if he doesn't get better or if his game doesn't improve because
they got him taking on the Malk. I bet
he's gonna end up, in Japan somewhere.
What's the dude from Missouri that sat out this year?
Yes or no? I have most of the decisions been a mistake, whether it was from their parents, them, the coach.
What's considered a mistake when for a lot of people is just money.
When you don't maximize your money that you can make though.
No,
I'm just saying if you are a McDonald's All-American, people been telling you for years you're going to go to the NBA, but you only going to the NBA for 1 or 2 years. I don't think that's what people grow up saying I want to do. I want to go to the NBA for 1 or 2 years and sit on the bench.
Nowadays, you ask them about their dream, they say I want to go to the NBA to make money, not to be the greatest. Not to make it in the NBA,
right? But you gotta.
It's to make money,
right? But we're not. We're talking about they thinking millions though. We're not talking about a couple 100,000.
When you're 20 years old.
I'm just saying.
And then after that, you will never get anywhere close.
From the age of 19 to 22, you're gonna end up dead broke.
In the way that the NBA is going now, a lot of kids aren't going to see that much. Because they're drafting 60 players every year, and there's not 60 players retiring, and there's not 60 players leaving the in the G League. So when my son's 18, it's messed up.
So that makes the decision. You have men in the G League trying to get there. You have men. These are men in the G League trying to get there. You might have a record. 100+ underclassmen to declare for the draft, but you just said it's only 60 spots
every year.
You know what I'm saying? So it's only 400 spots in the NBA, period. So to get that spot is coveted, but to stay, I think is what you want to do.
You do, but I don't just
now. I think if you're Calipari, you can be like, look at all the guys that I've got to the NBA. But then, if you're one of the guys who got to the NBA, you're like, yeah, but yeah.
Watch the Emmanuel Quickly documentary where they show Calipari recruiting. His recruiting angle now is the second contract. Not getting you there.
Who used to use that?
Your second contract. I don't know who.
Rick Pitino.
Rick Pitino can't even get
He was
the
an
first
advocate
contract
of that with his guys.
He couldn't get his guys the first contract.
He was an advocate about that.
Yeah. Now we always keep it real, even when you're right. But Rick Pitino did say years ago.
Yeah, he talked about the second
so don't dismiss him.
No, I'm not dismissing him.
No, I'm just saying this ain't a UofL UK thing. I'm just saying he was an advocate of that.
Donovan Mitchell didn't get a first contract, and Montrezl Harrell didn't get a first contract, and Ray Sprout didn't get the first contract, and Mango didn't get the first contract, and Dangadale didn't get a first contract. Yes or no?
Okay, we talking about
yes or no? Yes or no? You said he can't get any. I just named off a couple. Even if it's only one or two, you said any. You said none. Don't deceive the listeners.
No, I said
don't deceive the listening public.
First contract, because he's gonna try to talk you out of it.
All right. Come on.
He did not with Jerry Mosher.
All right, go ahead.
Hey,
He did not with
Jay
Brahannon.
Let's take one more break.
Before we do, we can talk about coming back. Your boy Shane Brahannon.
He had off the court issues, son.
But I'm saying though,
I never thought he was an NBA player.
But I mean, he had the potential.
No,
he could have made it.
I saw him play against regular men around Louisville, and I was like, no.
Because the outside issues was keeping him from reaching.
He just said it, but you dismissed it when he said it.
No, that's what I'm saying. But as we're not worried about none of that, because as I bring up inner circle and parents, y'all dismissed that. So we saying as a player, he was guaranteed first round. Look, just like Hurl sophomore year, Hurl was
who? Shane Brahannon was guaranteed.
He was projected to go
never,
first round, and he came back.
He was never projected to go. He
was projected to go first round.
You're wrong.
Shane Brahannon was projected to go first round, just like Montrezl Harrell was projected to be.
Oh my gosh!
I will say he should have probably left after the championship year. He didn't need to come back
because he would have got it just based off of what they thought he would have been. Yeah,
I will say he should have left. I think he did himself a disservice coming back after the championship because he just mentally wasn't in that space anymore. You know what I mean? The rock star,
status.
2013 was a major year for him.
You can't stay away from the pills and the young girl.
Hey guys, 35 KY Sports is getting heated in here, man. I'm talking about me and Matt. We go as hard, man. We gonna get us something to drink, man. Be right back, man. Me and Matt, we got more to argue about. Come right back. 35 KY Sports, we are back, man. This has been a great show today. We talked about a lot of stuff, man. It's happy for
man, like in the thick of this is that summer talk right here.
Man, can't make Kentucky look bad.
Right. I like Matt because Matt, he's when he says it, he means it, and it's hard to get him off of it. So I don't like debating with somebody who just be like, if they give in easily to me, or if I intimidate them because I know my stuff, I'm like, nah, I can't rock with you, but. This man here is not to be intimidated. I'm talking about he has his phone right in front of him, so he pulls up the stats. He knows his stuff, so this is going to be good. Rayvon and Matt. I'm talking about this is going to happen. So just think, imagine when the season starts. You know what I'm talking about? Me and Matt, we going to go hard, man. So make sure you keep on tuning in to 35 KY Sports, man. This is great banter and debate, and if you can't have this without being remember the guys that were talking. They were at the dialysis center a couple of years ago.
Oh,
they
man.
were getting dialysis. And they was about to kill each other in the dialysis center. They getting stuff insulin or whatever at the dialysis center. They end up beefing talking about the UofL UK game.
I can't talk to a lot of Louisville fans.
Yeah, we're not, and I can't talk to a lot of UK fans. We're not going to do it. It's going to be good, healthy banter, though. It's going to be good, healthy
banter. Before we
banter.
close it out, let me give y'all just a couple of little news and notes, topics, see what y'all think about it. There were reports that came out this week that there is a possibility Zion Williamson returns to Duke if he doesn't want to play in New Orleans.
Fake news.
Fake
we
news.
never spent a lot of time on
All right,
that.
fake news.
Negative.
I also want to give a shout out to Louisville's own, University of Louisville's own Jamon Brown, who provided $5,000 to help 4 Louisville pools open this summer. Brown,
JB.
Current team, the Atlanta Falcons, they did match the total, bringing it to $10,000. What y'all think about JB?
I got a quick twofold. Dope Jamon is giving back to the city. And he does a great job of that all the way around.
All the way around the board.
Real talk.
He's
a Louisville legend.
He is in my opinion,
he's number 1.
He is the most prominent athlete.
He's ranked number
1 for philanthropy right now. That's a current player. You know what I'm saying?
Now,
we
don't know.
I won't say history, but I'm just saying current guys that are in the league getting a check from a professional team.
I do know that the Rajon Rondo Foundation, they don't do a lot of
publicity.
It'll do
Yeah.
is like press and
But
publicity.
they do a lot of stuff
but the
behind the
Rajon
scenes.
Rondo
He does
Foundation,
Rajon does his thing.
And Yvette Gentry, they are doing a phenomenal job. They go into a lot of community centers. They passed out almost 1,000, like about 500 pair of shoes. They gave me and my community center 48 pairs of shoes, 48 pairs of brand new shoes and backpacks and stuff. So shout out to the Rajon Rondo Foundation as well.
My thing with that is Jamon is he doesn't play a sexy position. He is an offensive lineman. He's making what he can out of nothing, man.
And he hasn't made he doesn't make the money that D'Angelo Russell.
He's not a sexy. He's not a.
He's
an offensive lineman, a guy that wasn't projected to be NFL, NBA, none of this. He's getting it out the mud, and he's
out
making,
there.
He's making do and doing the best with what he got.
There.
And I feel like for his resources and what he's doing and what he's giving back
Compared
to the
others.
city. I mean, I think it's unmatched. You know what I mean? Like,
I think he's ranked number 1, like I said. And then he has a golf
Currently.
scramble. He has a golf scramble that's coming up, which also gives back. So I had the pleasure of having Jamon on my show. Actually, it's the way he told me. So I'm gonna see if it's good for all of us. He was like, "Man, if you make it to," this is when he was still before he signed with the Falcons. He was like, "If I go back to the Giants, if you make it to the game, I got you." You know what I'm saying? Sweets, food, just come on up. So maybe we can take a road trip. Maybe we can take a road trip from Atlanta.
Less.
You know what I'm saying?
Say
down to
less.
Atlanta and go down and holler at Jamon. So once again, shout out to the Jamon Brown Foundation.
Yes, sir.
Man, last night I was over at my buddy's house,
Yes, sir.
and Jamon's Range Rover, he had like the stretch range with the purple on the. I'm talking about, I've never seen or been close
He's
to
a
a
big
vehicle
car guy.
quite like this. I got close to it and the lights came on. Didn't even touch it. This got close to it. So shout out to Danny Mosby too. Danny Mosby's the president of the Jamon Brown Foundation. So that's pretty good. I like what Jamon is doing.
I don't remember, but I want to make sure that I don't remember if we did talk about it when we was talking about the NBA. But did we bring up Tariq Evans? Did we talk about Tyreek Evans has been banned from the NBA after violating the NBA's anti-drug policy. Evans will be eligible to apply for reinstatement to the league in 2 years.
I had heard that he had
Heard
been
he had
dealing with some
everything.
depression back from his Memphis days. So we don't know if he was medicating himself with weed or if it was some other illegal
Yeah, it was
stuff.
more than weed.
coming out, he was one of my favorite players. Honestly, because
I thought he was too.
he came in the league and he had that Euro down, and he was a big Euro guy when it first was kind of coming off in the NBA. So
25-5.
yeah,
It hasn't been done many times. He had a wonderful rookie season. Wasn't able to live up to that any time after that. But when you think about those numbers and like 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists as a rookie, that's pretty good. So
Yeah.
right. So hopefully he's still relatively young. So hopefully he's able to
turns
get
it
it
around,
together,
man.
and somebody will pick him up. He had a pretty good season this year.
Yeah, he
with
did.
Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Average 14 for him.
Yeah, it was a pretty good
man.
season for
Okay.
them. So, we can come back in 2 years. He's probably still a good player. I think his chances of coming back in 2 years are better than us seeing O.J. Mayo next season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
Mayo's
Mayo
probably
is
around.
done.
Now, can he go he can go overseas and play somewhere, couldn't
Yeah, I think so.
he? If he
I
wanted
do
to.
believe so because he's not under any kind of NBA
Yeah,
contract.
so he could probably go to China and get some of that money.
Yeah, he probably could.
I also want to give prayers up to Ric Flair. Ric Flair was hospitalized earlier this week with a medical emergency. So
The
shout out
nature
to him.
boy.
And they said this one is serious too.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
said,
he's had a lot, man.
He did
so.
have a stroke a couple of years ago that he was able to return from. The man said he used to drink. He used to have 20 drinks, anywhere from 15 to 20 drinks a day.
Man,
It was something like 4,000 calories of
I
liquor.
did hear about the beer and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
Drink.
He said he would
Yeah,
drink
man.
3,500 to 4,000 calories of liquor
a
every
day.
day.
Monster.
Every
House in
day.
Nashville was dope. It was,
Yeah,
you know,
man.
little
He
hill
was
down
truly
there,
he was truly a rock star in that era.
So we sitting here I know you can't see it, but the listeners, we sitting here looking at the Ric Flair, like the classic interview when he was talking about he's the high flying and Rolex wearing when he got the
He
glasses
started that
on.
stunt and shit.
Yeah, started
He
started
you
that
know,
stunt and
so,
shit for
yeah,
real.
So, anybody wrestling fans? Because I was I'm an
old school wrestling fan.
old school
Yeah,
wrestling
yeah,
fan.
old school wrestling.
I
Yeah.
grew-
That's my favorite
Yeah.
wrestler.
Like
right
for
there,
for
I
real,
grew up on wrestling.
like
me
for
too.
real,
Ultimate Warrior.
like up to a certain point, Jerry the King Lawler was one of my favorite athletes on the planet. When I
Well,
thought,
'cause he was
but
local.
yeah, and then when I thought wrestling was real, and I was a little kid, Jerry the King Lawler was like a superhero.
Forgot
to me.
Jerry
He was
King.
one of my
He from
favorites.
Louisville, ain't he?
Yeah, no, he was from Memphis,
But he lived.
but we called it Channel 3 Wrestling, and they would go to Louisville Gardens every single Tuesday.
Yeah, no,
And I lived in Village West, and tickets was only $5. So I would go to Louisville Gardens. So I saw Randy Macho Man Savage in Louisville Gardens and Dusty Rhodes and all. I'm talking about like it's before. It's
I
before
always
Macho
used to see
Man was,
Jerry
you know,
Lawler
like,
like at this rant at the Wendy's or something like. I always used to see him back in the day.
yeah. So I love
Ric
like
Flair.
Billy Superstar Dundee and Dutch Mantell. Like these are some old school names. Or any old school listeners, Coco Beware.
Oh,
You know
man,
what I'm
Coco
saying? Like it's
Beware,
before he
man,
went to
classic.
WWE. They started out
Classic.
with Louisville. Yeah.
I used to be in there too as a kid.
As a kid, loved Louisville Gardens. So I'm a big wrestling fan. Even in the late '80s, the Attitude Era, I would only listen to the promos. But Stone Cold and The Rock, man, they used to be
Man.
funny on the promos. You know what I'm saying? So I checked them out.
NWO. Though.
Took my son. Took my sons to quite a few like some SmackDown events on
They
Tuesday.
just had one here. A couple
Yeah,
They
yeah,
sure
about
did.
2
They
weeks
sure
ago.
did.
Yeah,
Just had
yeah,
it was live.
yeah.
If you grew
They
up
look
on
live.
wrestling like how we did, this new wrestling's crap.
Yeah.
I can't really. It's more. I can't really
like
get
a
into it
show.
either.
Yeah, it's
And
more
the man
it's
in it.
more soap opera
The
than
girl
anything.
wrestling
Yeah,
better
yeah.
than the dude wrestling.
Yeah, I can't really get. But they said that the like wrestling's popularity is starting
it's
to come back to
good.
where it was like in the late '90s when they did have like Stone Cold and The Rock were doing their thing. So I'm still alright. I would take my grandson to see to wrestling. I would take him to hear the SmackDown and all of that. I would take him. It's really cool when you go live.
Yeah.
It's really really cool.
I remember a crazy wrestling story. I remember my first time going to wrestling. It was at Louisville Gardens, and nigga, the Undertaker was there.
The Undertaker,
Man, the Undertaker. He he let that little
Yep.
bird out. Man, I
Yep.
swear,
Yep.
bird flew past my head. I was spooked.
If you was a big time wrestler in the '70s, '80s, you came through Louisville and Louisville Gardens.
Louisville Gardens
Ain't no
was
doubt
it.
about that. Ain't no doubt about that.
Definitely had a dope underground wrestling scene.
Ain't no
man.
doubt about that.
Louisville, yeah.
And I had me
They
some
still do.
some wrestling belts with the cardboard, and you put
Yeah.
the aluminum foil on the cardboard.
Yeah, man.
Intercontinental champion and all of that. Yeah.
It is graduation season, so let's shout out some of the graduates. I know at Louisville basketball, you had Dwayne Sutton, Christian Cunningham, and Quan Ford. They graduated, and then also today, as we speak, your boy David Johnson, he graduated from Trinity High School. So shout out to the graduates out there.
So I'm gonna shout out Paris Mitchell from PRP High School, Darian Graves from Central High School. Who else? What other seniors do I have this year? And Jada Stoner from Wagner High School. So shout out to all of those girls, all three of those girls for graduating. Uncle Ray, cousin Ray Vyman, I love y'all. So congratulations,
man. Shout out to all the graduates out there in Jefferson County, man. Graduation gonna be rampant this week, so yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Also news from the NBA: John Beilein accepted the job to be at the Cleveland Cavaliers. What y'all think about that?
I didn't understand that move.
He's old
I
as
know
hell.
he's losing a lot at Michigan, but you're not gaining anything by going to Cleveland. And I think he's shortened his career. I give him 3 years, and he's done.
He said something about he was getting tired of like the recruiting process.
I can understand
Like,
that.
He was-
his age.
I liked him. He was one of as one of those like low key. He was one of my favorite coaches.
And he said with the dirtiness of the game,
And he's had.
cleanest coach.
Check this out. I don't know if y'all ever have read this, but he has a winning record at the high school level, junior college, divisions 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Damn.
And so he worked his way all the way up from high school, junior college, all 3 divisions of NCAA, and now he's I'm gonna take my shot in the
That's
league.
dope.
I feel sorry for his mama because the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to stink.
He gets it, but
The career arc is that's dope though. How
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you don't
yeah.
really hear a lot of
Yeah.
that, even though he's old
Yes.
and it took him to 66. He's like 66 years
Yes,
old.
yes, he's an
It
old-
took
he's
him
an
to
old
that
cat.
point to get to the NBA and coach. But I mean, if you remember that 131 was him at West Virginia. He
Yeah.
started that. Bob Huggins
Yeah.
took that and ran with it.
And he rejuvenated Michigan basketball. So it was like I was like 12 years. He's been at 12 years. Been to a couple of Final Fours. He's had a Player of the Year in Trey Burke. He had a couple championship games, some first round NBA picks. So
13, baby.
he's silly.
I didn't. But, and speaking on him, I didn't realize that before he came, Michigan didn't make a tournament for a decade.
That's why I said he rejuvenated them because like from the Fab Five era, and then like Lou Bullock, and Tractor Trailer,
Tommy Amaker.
When they left. And the booster scandal and all of that stuff came out with Ed Martin. So after like Lou Bullock and Tractor Trailer and Maurice Taylor, they kind of fell off for years. And actually, Patino, when he came to Louisville, he had 2 other interviews set up with UNLV and Michigan. So it came UNLV, Michigan, and Louisville. I wish he would have went somewhere else because we would be at. No, I'm just kidding.
Las Vegas is prostitution legal.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So so Michigan. I think Michigan is a big time program. I think that out of all the football schools, I think they have the best chance of sustaining basketball excellence.
That's a good job.
Yeah,
that's a really good job. I don't know where they're gonna go with for who they're.
They talking about Juwan Howard.
He deserves the opportunity. The NBA ain't messing with him.
They talking about Juwan Howard, and Jalen Rose gave him the stamp of approval the other day. Like, why wouldn't he be?
Well, you know,
Chris Webber gave him the stamp too. So
yes, good deal.
Telecast he gave. I forgot what game it was.
Because he's been on Miami's bench for a while now. He's a champion. He went to the
played in the NBA for like 20 years. Like
so and then he might be looking like, hold on, Penny's back and Jeremy Stackhouse is back.
Let me go ahead and go to.
I'm gonna go Michigan. You know what I'm saying? So
go back to college.
Matter of fact, we should start a campaign. Hire Juwan Howard for Michigan.
Hire Juwan Howard. Well, that's about it of the news and notes.
A shout out. The Lakers hired a coach. They got a coach finally.
Forgot.
So
much
touch
craziness.
on that real quick.
So they hired Frank Vogel and also hired Jason Kidd as an assistant.
The soap opera in L.A. How do you like? What y'all think about naming an assistant to your staff, especially a snake like Jason Kidd? I'm
a Lakers fan. I've always been a Lakers. I've never cheered for any other NBA team. Like I said, I don't know if you remember me telling you, I live in Long Beach, you know what I'm saying, for a couple of years. I actually was able to go to a lot of Laker games and watch a lot of Laker games locally. So I'm a Lakers fan. And with Frank Vogel, I actually like Frank Vogel because when he was at Indiana, he had those guys rocking and rolling. I think one year Indiana had a better record than Miami.
I thought he was actually a solid hire.
I thought he wasn't a big name hire. And then I think the fact that getting Jason Kidd lets me know that we're not doing anything with Lonzo Ball.
What do you mean? Oh, as far as development?
No, we're not moving him.
On.
We're not him. You hire Jason Kidd specifically for Lonzo Ball.
What do you think about you being a Lakers fan? What do you think about this storyline that they're creating? Basically, like the Lakers really don't care much about LeBron James at this point. Like a lot of people are saying, "Damn,
trade him."
And I don't. I'm not one to think like they're gonna trade him or nothing. I think that's ludicrous. But I'm saying like there are some talks in NBA circles saying like basically they're gonna play out the LeBron little contract and just move on from him. And that's Vogel was brought in for that, and Jason Kidd's gonna pick up. Do you think that the Lakers are moving in a direction like that, or it all kind of depends on free agency?
I think right now we're all in on the next 3 years with LeBron. The reason I say that is because they only offered Tyronn Lue and Monty Williams a 3-year contract. So they said, so basically I'm only as good as LeBron, and then after LeBron's 3 years, it's a possibility that that I'm out of here. So just because of their own security, they both wanted 5-year deals, which is I hear a standard. With NBA coaching contracts. I don't know that much about that, but I do know that they was like, nah, we're good. With the Lakers, I think you have to be all in right now, which is why I think you have to have conversation with the Pelicans. You have the 4th pick, and you have some assets. Why not see what New Orleans wants to do? Just think if you're New Orleans and you can trade Anthony Davis, because if I'm Anthony Davis, I don't want to stay and have to wait to a developing Zion. I'm ready to win now.
No, I'm gonna agree. I feel like that is gonna go. That's gonna take place.
So if you're the Pelicans and you can move Anthony Davis to the Lakers for, let's say, Brandon Ingram and the 4th pick. So you have the 1st pick, Brandon Ingram, and the 4th pick. So you start to develop something for the future. So I think I think the Pelicans have some decisions to make. However, if the Lakers don't get Anthony Davis or Kawhi Leonard this summer, or if they don't make a move for a Bradley Beal or something like that, I think LeBron may start to be like, hey, hold on. It's not what I signed up for. Because he not only, I don't think he thought he was going to win the championship this year.
No.
But we're talking about a man who's went to 8 straight finals who didn't even make it to the playoffs. So I'm thinking he might be somewhere right now getting to the best shape you can be in as a 34, 35-year-old, and people might be in trouble coming back next year.
I think the Lakers on their free agency search this summer, I mean, of course you make the phone call to, Kawhi Leonard and Kevin Durant, but it doesn't sound like those are –
and Kyrie.
That doesn't sound like those are very likely. But I think you spend your time on players that are attainable. I feel like Jimmy Butler is possibly attainable. I feel like a Kyrie Irving is attainable. My man Kemba possibly is attainable. He's going to have a big ticket, but he is attainable. Middleton will be available. Like, I think those guys, if you can build around, they make you a playoff team. If you can get 2 out of those guys, any combination, they make you a playoff team, and they're ready to, contend in the West.
And then I think that because we have so much money to spend this summer, that 4th pick, no matter who it is, they're not going to help LeBron win a championship.
He doesn't want a young player.
He doesn't want a young player. So I think that's why you use that to package it somewhere and get some veterans in, because, like I said, we have plenty of room to spend in the free agency market. So I think we need to do that, because that 4th pick means nothing to LeBron with the Lakers.
No, for the next 3 years.
For the next 3 years, it doesn't
whoever
mean
you get.
anything.
I mean, they projected at 4 as players like Darius Garland, DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah.
Anybody after 3.
Anybody to that top 3.
Take Cam Reddish.
I mean, this is a guy. He would be lost in L.A. right now.
So LeBron doesn't want to play with Lonzo and Cam Reddish as the backcourt. Like right now, I think we have to win at all costs right now.
All in.
And if we can't sign a high free agent, then let's think about maybe trading LeBron to Philly for Ben Simmons. Like
this season.
LeBron for Ben.
Or do you play?
That was a rumor that they was talking about. That rumor had come up. So
do you play the season out, or you go ahead and just try to make these moves now and just start pressing the reset button because we got?
I think you try to reset. Reset it, and then you have, like. I like Ben Simmons. I think he's going to end up being one of the greatest players we've ever had.
Oh wow!
He's got to get a shot.
He has to get a shot.
Oh wow!
But if you remember Tragic Johnson didn't shoot hardly any jump shots his first couple of years in the league. Now, it's just a confidence thing with him. And they were talking about he may even need to switch hands to shooting right-handed or something like that. But it's inexcusable.
Free throws right-handed, don't he?
I'm not sure on that.
Ben Simmons shoots his free throws.
It's inexcusable for him to not attempt any shots outside the paint. During that series, it was inexcusable. However, though, if you are the Lakers, and we know we're not going to beat Golden State or we're not going to beat Houston, Portland, they're going to be formidable. Then let's just go and hit the reset button, get Ben Simmons, get that big contract that LeBron has, get that off the books, and then let's just be honest. You're not going to, at this age, the LeBron's going to start leveling off and then going down.
We're seeing it now.
You're already seeing it now. And then Father Time is undefeated. He's never lost in any realm of life. Father Time is undefeated, and LeBron is not immune to facing Father Time.
He's there
he
now.
Is a clone,
his back is against Father. He's knocking at it.
He's knocking at the door right now.
He's a clone.
And then we're talking about that just to show the level of greatness that he is. This man still averaged 27, 7 and 7 this past season, and we're talking about he has some kinks in his armor. That just shows the level of greatness.
Crazy.
This shows you the level of greatness that we're witnessing right now. So however, it's going to start falling off. So I think the Lakers have a big summer ahead of them. The Pelicans have a big summer. The Knicks have a big summer. The Boston Celtics have a big summer. Oklahoma City, they're going to have to figure out something else to do if they want to get over the hump. They've been knocked out in the first round 3 consecutive years.
Golden State's got a huge
Golden State has a huge summer.
Somebody leaving.
Houston has a huge summer.
They're going to be paying.
They're going to be paying an old Chris Paul $40 million for the next 2 seasons. They owe him $40 million for $40 million next year and $42 million the year after that. So Houston's going to have to make some decisions. So The offseason is going to be fun for the NBA, so we'll make sure we keep up with the
They're
NBA.
saying it's the biggest offseason in NBA history potentially this offseason.
Yep, it's going to be a good one, man. So, hey, we appreciate all you guys hanging out. It's been a long one. Hey, you ain't have anything else to do, so you just hang out with 35K Sports. Yeah, hang out with 35K
minutes on that.
It was worth it. We hadn't been in the studio in a little minute. We got to give them what they want. We went live.
Man.
We did something different. You know what I'm saying?
It was cool.
It's a sign of things to come with that
had
argument.
some interaction. You know what I'm saying? So it was dope. Appreciate Rayvon bringing that in.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you guys bringing me into the fold. But since I am into the fold now, we talked about Jamon Brown. So Rayvon Churchill, Ravon Churchill. Go back and check out that Jamon Brown interview. I also interviewed Jermaine and Killer, Derek Anderson, Jason Osborne, and DeJuan Wheat. And, you know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of guys. I'm trying to get Rondo. I've been trying to get Rondo. I want to get 20 Beckham. I'm going to get some Kentucky guys in, too. You know what I'm saying? I want to get,
we had 20
some guys
on,
in. Plus 20's doing some good stuff. So
with his book,
yeah.
On a book tour right now.
Yeah, he's doing some good stuff. So
He
go ahead, go to my Facebook page.
Yeah.
Rayvon Churchill on Facebook. I also have some stuff on YouTube. And like I guess, once again, it's a pleasure to be on board, man, and look for some good stuff between me and Matt. It's funny because I know y'all can't see it, but Murph and Al, they just sitting there just laughing at us as we going in. So this is gonna be real cool, man. So it's good to be on the hottest sports show in the city. Rayvon Churchill, all my guys, 35KY Sports, and we out.
Peace.